turn the sunshine into love, and I can keep on dreaming. Something like a spaceship from above, and you give me that feeling, yeah. I feel I'm so excited. I feel so good, yeah. I can't describe it. I feel I know the music will keep me dancing, you keep me moving. I'm gonna tell you something just for free. I hope you catch my meaning. I'm not here to waste nobody's time, so we should both be us down. Destroy idiots here in the underpass.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Trial of Freya, Southeast Asia. My name is PJ the Puff. I'm joined by Dara as we are here in top 6 of Southeast Asia to kick off what is going to be a very, very fun trial, I think. Dara, how are you feeling this morning?
You know, I feel like somebody who woke up at 9 a.m. So I'm doing great. I'm doing excellent. I'm excited to get into some Southeast Asia today, my friends. Today is Friday. We're going to be jumping into, I believe, the top 6 of Southeast Asia. And PJ, I'm excited to work with you because I don't think we had a chance to cast Brawlhalla together before.
No, we haven't cast it at all together, so I'm very excited. Yeah, at CEO, we didn't get a block, and we were supposed to get a block in person at a studio, but I believe you weren't able to make it out. But nonetheless, we're here remote, but we're here on the mainstream for Trial of Freya, Southeast Asia. One of my favorite regions in Brawlhalla. You know, I'm Southeast Asian myself, so I love this region. I'm very excited to see what they bring for us here in top 6.
And so going into top 6, I guess I want to defer to you really quickly, which is who do you have going in for today, and who do you have as maybe somebody that you're hoping to be able to take it all?
I think, you know, it's really easy to say Himway. Himway is consistently winning a majority of, you know, the community events. You got Trial of Scotty, SCA Showdown 456, Bearded Brawl Southeast Asia, and recently won Trial of Scold. Himway tends to be like the dominant #1 in Southeast Asia, but I'm always a big Keith fan. Keith is somebody that I've been watching for quite a while. Starting all the way back at an SCA Showdown where, you know, they kind of broke into my scope, and ever since then they've been playing like a plethora of characters. They're really interesting. They always seem to be wanting to innovate their own gameplay, and today they seem to be hovering over a Diamond Head, which could be very interesting. But you know, Keith is somebody to always look out for, who always gets second place, so maybe they'll be able to you know, lock a tournament in today. Tiger is someone that's really great. Tiger plays Koji, high dex, very, very high octane gameplay. Something about Southeast Asia is it's kind of like a microcosm of a very aggressive and almost old school playstyle of Brawlhalla. We're seeing a lot more passive play in regions like North America, so it's cool to be able to get like a little Southeast Asia treat before we get into the other brackets that are more consistent and more patient in their play. So I'm excited for this one. Should be good.
That's right. Yeah, SCA always going to be such a fun region to be able to spectate. So the first match of today, my friends, is going to be Himway going up against Keith. And this is a region that I feel like has a pretty tight-knit community, especially at the top level of play, because they fight each other a lot. Cumulatively, they've played a lot of matches against each other. I believe 34 total recorded in bracket matches. And historically speaking, it has been Himway that has been consistently coming out on top, especially the last 4 sets or so at the Trial of Scold, at the you know, couple of community events as well, and then at the last official event it also went to Himway. So I feel like betting on Himway here is always just going to be a safe bet.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think, you know, Himway is the person that should be taking the tournament. I think it's easy to say that, but Himway tends to play a lot of different characters. One of the most interesting perspectives of Brawlhalla is when I watch Himway play, like Himway streams their own perspective running through community events, and, you know, they're either getting coached or they're always like swapping between legend picks. It's always not so much a legend matchup, but more of a player matchup. Like, oh, today if I play fast, I'm going to beat X player, versus if I play this legend, I'll beat this legend. So Himway is always really cool. We'll see some counter picks there for sure, but we are getting into game #1 of the Trial of Freya winners finals here between Himway and Keith. We got the Koji, we got the Diamond Head. I'm very excited. Keith sporting no more Taros, but we're seeing some Caspian, which should be very exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a little exciting to see Caspian, especially some of those not obnoxious signatures at ledge. We'll see how that's going to be able to work out. Himway already opening off with that side light dash jump, reverse side her. Not going to be able to find that connection though. D-light into the recovery. A couple of good hits dealt onto Himway.
Yeah, I like to see this from Keith immediately fighting back from Himway. I find a lot of times their sets can be very one-sided because Himway's able to smother Keith, but on the Qatar's looking very confident versus this bow, just right above that jump height, so you're able to avoid the side lights. Very smart from Keith.
Okay, nice side light into the side as well. Himway gonna be so deep off stage. The neutral perfectly positioned to be able to punish the recovery. You saw Himway not lean into the recovery, hoping maybe to avoid like a ground pounder down and facing the stage, but Keith waited and was able to successfully punish.
Just a really great start from Keith, who now has the gauntlets in hand versus the Himway sword, and already showing some pretty solid edge guarding fundamentals. They're getting the ground pound for some extra damage, and Himway able to make it back, but still worse for wear, and a lot of extra credit on the side of Keith, who's looking to control this lead.
Being nice and patient, getting back onto the stage, just barely avoiding the side light, comes back on with the side O though. Keith not going to be picking the weapon back on up. Qatar's in hand once again, just tossing it down to hopefully get a nice safe way to be able to land. Keith going to be stuck off stage, looking for that GCN sig, not successful. Himway dash jumps in and goes for the recovery, which is so powerful because it's able to catch you grounded and it's able to position you quite safely and also catch a jump as well.
Yeah, the coverage is the name of the game for Himway for sure here, who is kind of getting smothered by Keith and the Qatar, so I like to see, leaning more into the sword versus the bow, which has a better time dealing with this very aggressive playstyle. But right now, Himway able to catch up in the damage department, but Keith on the gauntlets, you can never count him out. This lead could still be his, but yeah, I mean, Himway is, I think, kind of equalizing here and being really, really solid, and I think it's difficult for Keith in these spots, but as I say that, the edge guard is so sick. The ground pound comes in to close out that stock.
That was such an optimal edge guard. The weapon toss and a ground pound too. And that's what happens when you roll the dice against Gauntlet off stage. Sometimes you just have to hold a stock. And now you play from a deficit. I can't believe that down air didn't connect. That is criminal.
Nice little side air there from Himway, who looks to even up the stock count, but Keith able to make it back to the wall. The defensive game a lot better on the side of Keith, and as I say, that's the sweat beads come out. The end light taps it in. I'm already caster cursing at 6 in the morning, so maybe I got to stop with that. But nonetheless, we got a last stock here on last stock, and I feel like overall it's been Keith who, even though the stocks equalize, is able to just blow up Himway off stage. We'll see if he can do it again.
That's right. He's definitely had that wild card factor this game. It felt like at any point he was able to take a stock, but GC D-Light into the down air, dashing and dashing out, trying to space out a D-Light and then mashing out an end light as well. But Keith able to go ahead and break that space. Side light, end light, able to catch the dodge, and that is the stock.
That is a ridiculously strong signature for Keith to be able to get there. The side sig having enough force to KO what I think was about 100 damage. So, I mean, overall, you cash in a read there, expecting Himway to play pretty scared off stage. I feel like the one thing I'm noticing from Himway today is the disadvantage state is definitely faltering. Himway can definitely be very tricky to pin down off stage, but Keith has found a lot of success getting 2 edge guards for stocks and then there cashing a read with a side sig.
Correct. And, I did want to mention that I did like the way that Himway was, being very patient, getting back onto the stage. But Keith got quite aggressive about it. Keith got quite aggressive. Keith really held down the stage. Keith went out there for the edge guards and was really successful in doing so. And honestly, with Qatars and gauntlets, that's exactly what you're looking for. So, going into the next game, Keith going to be picking up the Qatars, immediately going to be denying Himway, who picks up the sword, looking for the side light jump, call out with down air. And it feels like a lot of Himway strings are not really working out nearly as long as Keith's, strings are.
No, I definitely agree. I think even on the bow, which is a weapon that doesn't necessarily have a lot of true confirms, but can definitely be very stringy off a dodge read. You haven't found a lot of success. You're getting kind of smothered, and it continues here with, even on the sword, a weapon that Himway is so comfortable on, is struggling to deal with the speed of these Qatars and gauntlets in general from Keith. But right now Himway with an edge guard attempt going for the downer there, tries to cover the immediate jump, didn't find it, but I mean, Keith is just already ready to be on the offensive, flips the situation, is looking to find a KO on Himway here. The end light sends off stage, and now you got to be careful because these edge guards have been so consistent. For Keith, who calls out a jump back to center stage with a recovery of his own, and all of a sudden, you look pretty solid in the beginning, but now Keith has a lead.
I did also want to mention it is Bo going back against gauntlets from offstage. It can be a little challenging, right? You don't necessarily have the biggest recovery hitbox in the game, but right now that does not matter because Himway able to find a recovery of their own, landing back down. Keith gonna be nice and patient, eating a side is still not gonna be enough to KO here. Himway jumping back on, slowing it down, going nice and gentle. Keith coming back on with that sidelight, and Keith is getting so much extra credit for the stock, PJ.
Yeah, looking really solid out of the corner, specifically finding ways to reversal Himway and getting some extra damage for it. Nice recovery there to catch the jump back, but overall, I feel like Keith is able to close out these stocks early, and especially on a character or a legend like Caspian, you definitely want to find those KOs relatively early. You can definitely get into a weird spot where you're struggling to confirm, but it really hasn't been a problem for Keith so far, as Himway, I feel like, is struggling and building up that damage, just hasn't really found the strings as we were talking about earlier.
Okay, but speaking of strings, D-Light into the recovery is going to be able to successfully connect Himway as a sidelight, using sidelight as a get-off-me option. That Katari Cider sending you at such a nasty angle, able to stage spike as well successfully. Keith is looking phenomenal at the moment.
It's a tough spot to be in there, especially, you know, even on the sword, you can find some difficulty finding a way to put a hitbox out to contest that guitar side air, which just has so much range, just because you're able to move with it. And oh my goodness, getting pieced together by the gauntlet so far. Those definitely cannot feel good, especially with the diamond hands, but man, it is looking tough for Himway, who just really can't find anything to stick. Another end light, a weapon toss, and more aggression from Keith, who has yet to let up the gas, really, this stock. Just really pushing their lead forward, and Himway can't find any control. Finally getting a GC downlight into side air. Going for the ground pound there is definitely very risky versus the gauntlets. You're tempting your fate, Himway. Able to make it back. That side sig almost connected.
Wait, was that the first hit of Cider? What happened? It didn't fully
first
connect
hit of Cider
itself.
didn't connect, yeah.
First hit of Cider connected, the second one, not so lucky for Keith because I think that stage spike would have been it at that position. At the moment though, Himway with a second lease at life. Cider sliding off with that D-Light, not going to be able to find it, denying Keith from getting back onto the stage, finally picking up a weapon, but at what cost? GC sidelight. I consider that move like a shove. It pushes you away. Ground pound comes out. PJ, the game is even.
I cannot believe Himway's found a way to bring this one all the way back. No weapon in hand for Keith, who's struggling to find their way back to center. Fights back with an unarmed end light to get some space, but immediately falters in the defensive game with the downers. And the downers come in, and Himway is just too clutch, able to fight from out of the corner. Keith whips one sider, gets hit with a downer. Three more follow up, and the recovery comes in.
That was crazy. Well, that cider on the second stock, that was tragic because it felt like that should have been, you know, his game. That felt like the definitive cider. I think there was no way to actually get back onto the stage, and if not, I mean, you're still in a nasty position to get edge guarded against. The second hit of cider did not connect, and then Himway made a comeback. So really good stuff to Himway. Also, GC sidelight hitting from behind. The fact that Sword sidelight continues hitting from behind. Dang, that's a good move. That's such a good move, PJ.
It is that's tough. Like you just kind of like you feel yourself too much, and I feel like you get into this flow state where you're just like super holding forward, and then I feel like Himway was able to kind of dissect that game plan pretty well by putting themselves in the corner after getting a string, and then just allowing Keith to kind of run into Himway's hitboxes, and that was a really tough spot. Definitely that side air, if it was a little bit higher or lower, it wouldn't have been canceled into the geometry on the wall, but you can't really think about that too much if you're Keith here. You got to take this game on Demon Island, and already showing that you definitely have what it takes to do so. Getting the side air and then the down sig follow-up as well. You're talking about those sigs into the corner, and it finds another stock and another victim here in Himway.
Sometimes you just get edge guarded by Caspian, and then, you know, those are some of the most powerful edge guarding tools in the game. You get to deny the stage, and it's so non-committal because of how quick it is. Himway not able to connect this neutral, is going to be whipping that D-Light and giving Keith a really good opening cue to take advantage of. Keith being nice and patient, D-Light comes out. I gotta say, Himway is kind of struggling on the bow at the moment.
Yeah, we haven't seen as much bow, or I don't even think we've seen a KO on the bow, so it's definitely tough to see why you're playing Koji. Maybe you just want to play a high-deck sword versus Caspian, but, you know,
and
it's
the sword
definitely
is
tough.
working out swimmingly. Like we were seeing the amount of hits connecting to, but that's going to be it once again. Keith going to be denying Himway from the stage, and I feel like that is Keith's win condition. Edge guarding and, you know, ledge trapping Himway.
Yeah, the SIGs are coming in and they're really forcing Himway to rethink how you're getting off of the wall. A lot of times it's safe to kind of jump around the wall, but versus the Caspian SIGs on guitars, you can get scooped up by them or just outright KO'd. Nice downlight cider. Speaking of scoop ups, as Himway closes out his stock there and has a chance to bring this one back, throwing the bow away, looking to cycle another sword because, you know, the comeback of the last game came on the back of a sword, so it makes sense to kind of lean into it now, which is a good spot for Himway here. Has the wall to Keith, who's getting pieced up by these downlights right now.
Such coverage. Covering over the ledge is going to put you at a vulnerable position. Sidelight to be able to punish the GC Sidelight. Backing off a little bit, picking up the guitars. Himway not able to successfully deny. Held without a weapon for just a moment. Downer catching the landing with the D-Light. Able to get the cider. Is this going to be the edge guard, PJ?
Gonna have to find something here. If you're Himway, you get the double exclamation point, you look to tap it in, you got another end light, and that should be the end of the stock. Yes, it is, with the GC end light from Himway, and you took a little bit of damage there, but you're happy to equalize the stocks. This is exactly what happened in the last game. So you definitely cannot count out Himway yet. The sword in hand versus the guitars, the same matchup that really was able to allow Himway to get back in the game. We'll see if Keith can change it up this game.
Honestly, Himway on the sword, really difficult to beat at the moment. Himway on bow, I feel like that's going to be a little bit easier for Keith. Himway makes it back onto the stage, albeit sweating. Going to be eating that recovery. Doesn't get KO'd off the top quite yet. Being nice and patient. Recovery into neutral. Not going to be able to actually follow up.
Oh, the dash jump turnaround side air to call out a dodge through was crazy from Himway. Doesn't get punished either, which could have been a big opportunity for Keith to capitalize on the guitars right now. Looking to scour out any single hit. The side air into the immediate dodge gets punished with a side light of Himway and throwing out a lot of SIGs at the corner there, Ben. You just can't find anything sticking.
Yeah, these recoveries, they're not connecting. That is the difficulty with guitars sometimes, right? It can be so hard to find that final confirm. And now, continuing to deny Keith of a weapon here. Okay, huge downer. And like gonna be setting you off stage. You're going up against Gauntlet. You're afraid of Sidelight. You're afraid of D-Light. You're afraid of Cider. And you're afraid of Endlight. Himway, you have to keep away. And you are not gonna do so successfully as Keith finds that recovery to take it off the top.
Himway hit a downlight, but wasn't able to get the jump input out and drops downlight into side air. If you go for a recovery there, it at least connects and you don't get punished for it. What an unfortunate drop from Himway in that last positioning where you just have to hit that combo. You miss that downlight, you miss that confirm off of downlight, you're in a terrible spot versus Gauntlet, and Keith is able to capitalize with the wake up recovery. A crazy drop, kind of similar to the last game, how Keith, you know, whiffs a confirm or an edge guard and is able to snowball the game. There, Keith getting some revenge there on that whiff. And oh my goodness.
Yeah, that is not the kind of a whiff that you're looking for. And, you know, I actually still don't understand why Himway is sticking with the Koji at the moment. Again, I'm loving the sword, but it does feel like the bow has not had a lot of presence, and Himway has been whiffing a lot with the bow.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like you're definitely leaning into playing high deck sword. That I think that's what Himway is thinking of, is like, I want a weapon that has, you know, a good amount of range, but is also quick enough to kind of compete with the speed of Caspian. That might be what you're looking for, but it is odd to me, like, fully committing to this, not using your second weapon at all, essentially. But hey, what do I know? It seems to be working out so far for Himway.
That's right. Himway backing off. Gonna be looking for the dash jump down, who doesn't find so successfully. Doesn't find the jump call out either. Eats a cider, stuck off stage. Keith just threatening with a ground pound, threatening with a downer. Able to catch Himway jumping back on with a cider. Left sweating, and now just gonna be falling to his demise. Keith with a massive lead at the moment.
I feel like we got to put more credit to Keith's gauntlets, which have found, I mean, a lot of success, able to close out that last game with recovery there. You see an edge guard really finding ways to pick apart the offstage play that Himway's presenting with the sword. Maybe lean into the gauntlets a little bit more. The guitars, I feel like, have been kind of solved by Himway a little bit. We'll see, though.
Okay. Sliding in with that daylight, excuse me. Not gonna find a whiff punish on that quite yet. We're slowing down the pace of the game for just a second. Coming in with the side light. That is not gonna be the follow-up quite yet. Himway looking for a landing. Does land before Keith gets the catch on the landing, which is huge. You get all of your jumps back. And now once again, you can stay alive. D-light into recovery. The classic does come out, and it does successfully KO off the top.
Kind of that control and having those consistent KO confirms are going to be so important in a matchup this quick. I think the little connection on the recovery there, but even on the unharmed, Keith is looking to continue to push their lead. Okay, a bow gets picked up by Himway. Finally, looks like wanting to play into the bow here, or maybe not. We'll see.
You whip that side. Okay, you find that one committing off stage to the ground pound and using the weapon toss to keep himself nice and safe as a little bit of an insurance policy. The jump call out with the recovery. And honestly, I have seen Himwe get punished for those jumps in that exact position multiple times. Katara D-Light, Katara Cider, and that time around, just a straight up recovery off the top.
Nice little pick up there with the recovery, getting some nice damage on the guitar. It's very important to take the damage where you can get it, but right now Himwe once again down 2 stocks to 1, looking to make a comeback happen, but put a helmet on because you got a half pipe from Keith and a lot of damage on the guitars. Really running away with these strings, holding the ground really effectively. You can't find any sort of control on the ground versus the guitars, and picking up the gauntlets, looking to finalize this set with a KO. Wow. Gets it there, and like GC down like recovery as a true confirm to close out the set. Keith 3-1 over Himwe. Very dominant game in the last game.
The new Trilo GCD Light, that was just like a dodge read, or Himwe didn't have a dodge, right? Is that true? I don't think so.
I know Nair GCN Light is, but I think Downlight might be. I'm not sure. I feel like it looked true. I feel like Himwe is one to definitely check the execution.
It definitely looked fast enough, and I was like, oh wow, that KO, that was crazy. So, you know, that was able to go ahead and take it off the top successfully. Keith played incredibly well this game. You know, I don't really want to chalk up this loss on Himwe's behalf as entirely being on the bow, but it didn't feel like Himwe had a lot of presence with the bow at all. And then also when it came to edge guarding, I feel like Keith came out on top. Himwe seemed to jump over the stage again and again when it comes to actually getting back on. We saw that high recovery. We saw so many of those kinds of high recoveries over the ledge. And so the question is, what kinds of recoveries can you have instead? It's a little bit risky to want to stall too long against especially gauntlets. When you're on the side of the stage, you're afraid of something like a dash jump ground pound. But trying to dash land onto the stage a little bit more, I think could have gone a long way for Himwe.
Yeah, I definitely think like a lot of the faltering of the defensive game happened off stage. I think Keith really picked them apart in a lot of those spots, and overall I don't think I've seen Keith play Caspian for a while, so it's actually really interesting to see the Caspian finding a lot of success versus the Koji. We'll see if in grand finals if we see the same matchup there with the legends. I know Himwe plays Fate as well, so you know, Himwe plays everybody. I've seen Himwe play Asuri, Koji, and Fate. Very popular picks in the meta right now. We'll see if that's underway or if we're going to continue to see the high deck sword, because it looked like Himwe definitely wanted to lean into that versus Keith, who was really willing to just kind of hold forward versus Himwe. Himwe was like, all right, I'll just use my sword to continuously swat you away, and a lot of the comebacks from Himwe were off the back of that, but we'll see who's able to tighten up their game in grand finals. But nonetheless, we're going to be moving to the elimination side of the bracket now. So we got Sphinx versus Sejaru, which is a very interesting matchup. Sejaru hovering the Onyx pretty immediately here. Onyx did find some nerfs in the last patch, but nothing enough to stop players from playing them in ones versus Sejaru, who I'm not too sure who they're going to play, but it should be exciting nonetheless.
For whatever reason, Sphinx is not showing up on my data tool at the moment. And so yeah, I'm excited to see who Sejaru is going to go for. What is going on? I'm not able to get my information at the moment, but you know, Sejaru, we might be seeing the Petra. If so, that would be really exciting. I do love getting any chance to be able to talk about and cast and watch Petra, one of my favorite characters in the game. And yeah, so Sejaru going up against Sphinx. Who do you have going into this?
From what I'm looking at in the stat tool, they've never played each other before, but Sejaru tends to have higher peaks as opposed to Sphinx getting 4th at Trial of Skull Southeast Asia. So somebody who's on the come up currently. Sphinx is somebody who's consistently grinding the community tournaments, but I think Sejaru might have just moved to Southeast Asia. They're showing United Kingdoms for me, so it's possible. I see them playing in a lot of European brackets, and then Trial of Skull, they're in Southeast Asia. So we could be seeing somebody who recently moved regions versus Sphinx, who is consistently somebody that is placing around 9th to 7th place, sometimes 3rd, sometimes 5th. So some inconsistency from Sphinx, but someone definitely not to underestimate. I definitely think I got Sejaru here, who's playing the Petra. As you're talking about, Petra is a very awesome character to be able to cast, but versus Sphinx, who's playing the Mordex. So Sphinx, interesting.
I love Petra. I think Petra is so cool. And I'm gonna say it, I think Orb is one of the coolest weapons in the game. Okay, I think Orb is fundies. You watch Orb succeed and you're like, yep, you're better, you've denied space here. And I think anytime you land Petra Orb side sig, it feels like a real, you know, honest fighting game projectile. In a lot of ways, it is such a check. And so, that's why I'm a little bit biased going into this, but, you know, of course, Mordex, I feel like such a crowd favorite always.
Yeah, you definitely can't deny Mordex as being one of the faces of Brawlhalla in terms of the meta and the legends. And so far, Saru came out on top of the Orb gameplay, but now versus the Gauntlet, I feel like it's a little scary to go off stage. You never know what Gauntlet players are able to pull out of their bag of tricks, but nonetheless we get Sphinx picking up the Scythe now, who's looking to create some space between, but it doesn't seem like you can find any sort of control or reprieve from this pressure as Saru is able to get the sidelight into recovery there on Sphinx and picking up an Orb immediately. I feel like if you're trying to weapon starve someone, you want no other weapon besides Orb. Orb is so good at dealing with unarmed.
Orb pushes you away. It says, I'm gonna need a little bit space, and then doesn't talk to you for 3 weeks. Okay, that is exactly what this weapon is here to do, but at the moment, the recovery gonna get stuffed out by Sphinx's recovery as well, able to go ahead and successfully KO off the top, Scythe in hand. But this is going to be a game of strings. This is it. We got 2 gauntlets on the screen and we got Scythe. Let's see who's able to pull it off better.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, Scythe game 1 is definitely a tough weapon to find some really big strings on. I feel like this is kind of your feel out stage. Like, all right, how do they react off of getting hit with a side air or an end light, moves that are very important in getting things going. And you're seeing their read attempt gets immediately reversal by side air, going for a deep side air. Is Saru who's able to get the ground pound as well, or the down air as well. But man, you can't find any sort of control versus these gauntlets. These gauntlets are absolutely smothering.
I cannot believe that Scythe recovery ever ended up touching the side of the stage. Sphinx was able to go ahead and make it back on and even find that stock onto Saru as well. Really gentle lead at the moment. You know, of course, if you want consistent KOs, GCD light into the recovery is going to be a tried and true bread and butter confirm. So, stock count completely even. Saru holding on to Orb at the moment. Just looking to scout out a landing with a potential end light. Not going to find it quite yet. Side light going to whiff. End light coming out a little bit too soon. And Sphinx has been able to consistently and safely land.
That's going to be very important moving forward here. And I feel like Saru hasn't found as much dominance in terms of juggling with the Orb, as I say that, getting 2 downlights into a recovery there, but not anything too scary, especially as opposed to the Gauntlet, as Sphinx is able to come out on top of the damage lead. Saru on the Orb now looking to try to get up an edge guard of their own, but can't flip the situation, and Sphinx going very deep there, trying to line up a Nair, didn't find it. Saru on the Gauntlet, so this is where you want to make your money. GCN light to try to call out a high landing there. That was crazy.
Yeah, that would have been crazy to be able to take it off the top. Saru backing off a little bit, gonna be looking for another side light, dodging away, recovering, going back onto the stage with the side air, just keeps on dashing and looking for that end light. Sphinx's weapon successfully gonna be knocked away. No denial. Saru just wants to keep on going out there and keep on applying the heat.
Pressure is so much for Sphinx here, and I don't know exactly how you get off this wall comfortably. I guess you just walk off the wall and get on to stage, but still falling into that end light from Saru, who's looking to close out this stock with a narrow recovery here.
That's it.
Or dash end light to close out game 1. That was a lot closer than I thought. That was clean.
So many of those dash up end lights were successful for Saru. I mean, and what's not to appreciate? Gauntlet end light is active. That move works out. When you press it, it is on the screen for a significant amount of time. So really good stuff to Saru being able to go ahead and close out game number 1. I do love how Saru kept on the pressure as the set went on.
Yeah. I think it's easy in the first stock to really like kind of impose your will on the landing, but able to do that throughout the game all the way into last stock, and even in spots where you have a damage deficit, and if you mess up your pressure, you get KO'd for it. Saru was showing like, I have a game plan and it's to smother you, and I won't stop doing it for anything really. And it's cool to see like having that confidence even in those really clutch spots. Definitely something to be worried about if you're Sphinx here, who been struggling in those spots, but the Scythe coming online. I mean, I always talk about it. Game 1 Scythe not so good. Game 2 Scythe goes crazy.
Game 2 Scythe, that's right, because you need a second to be able to adjust your spacing, and at the moment, Sphinx has done nothing but that. So much denial, downer, scooping you, putting you off stage, side through the stage spike, getting in there as well, and cleaning it up. Sphinx is looking amazing at the moment.
This is looking a very, very different than game number 1. The Scythe just needed a little bit of time to warm up, and it all of a sudden was able to almost 0 to KO Saru there, who's now on the gauntlets, throws the weapon away in an attempt to kind of disrupt the landing option, picking up the orb here, which finds some good early damage, but I feel like in the middle damage department, really not able to set up any advantageous edge guards and struggling to do so there.
Saru, that was so risky going out there through the ground pound, still was able to make it back onto the stage relatively unscathed, opting to go right back to the gauntlets, avoiding one of those ground pounds because of how it kills your momentum. The GC Sig not going to be enough to touch the wall because your momentum was locked in for a second and you couldn't drift to the side in time. I cannot believe that Saru didn't touch the wall.
Yeah, an interesting thing about that SIG as opposed to a couple other ones is you can't really drift horizontally at the apex of it. A lot of the other legends, like let's say a Jaehyun and SIG on Sword, you can find a little bit of a horizontal drift, but on Petra you can't find any at all, and unfortunately they're unable to make it back, and that kind of came off the back of a very aggressive edge guard. As I say that, a ground pound comes in to cover the wall, but you got to be careful off stage, especially versus the Sphinx gauntlets, who's so willing to scrap off stage and try to flip those edge guard situations.
Love what Saru is doing after every single downer, which is exactly what you should be doing with Gauntlet. You hit downer and then you just wait. And then sometimes you mix up going for the immediate option if they don't dodge, right? If they've started to jump out. Or if you feel like they're always going to dodge out of Gauntlet downer, you're going to reposition and wait. And that is how Saru has found so many of the openings over and over again.
I definitely agree, and seeing the orb here, and I don't know exactly if we saw a lot of like orb able to confirm KOs. As I say that, it confirms one there with the down air. You have to run all the way to the other side, avoiding the weapon toss, and that was crazy.
That was optimal. I cannot believe that Saru had enough resources to actually get successfully onto the other side. And Light waits a little bit, able to get the side light as well. Goes for the non-committal falling neutral because then you can go ahead and immediately back away. Going for End Light to catch landings is so risky when somebody's delaying their options. And speaking of delaying, Sphinx, really good side light, waited, and then was able to find the recovery, catching the dodge out.
Yeah, the absolute classic sidelight into wait for the option afterwards. Saru there, I don't even think, no, we did see a dodge away, and the dodge away got covered very, very cleanly with that recovery. And yeah, I feel like the game kind of snowballed as soon as Sphinx was able to get that first KO on the Scythe. Even though it was kind of close in terms of stock count, I feel like Sphinx had a lot of control. It was a 3-stock to 1 lead at one point, but Saru showed like I can definitely make a comeback happen on the orb. We saw a ground pound KO, we saw a down air KO. So Saru, like, you know, smothering you with the gauntlets and then switching over to the orb to confirm some of these tricky edgeguard situations. I definitely like to see it, especially edgeguarding with the orb. A lot safer to do so than versus the gauntlet mirror, because it's so easy for Mordex to flip you and find an early KO because you make a mistake off stage.
Neutral comes out, Saru going out there, but never really committing for the downer or the neutral. Just opts to keep coming back on with the recovery, and as a result, Sphinx made it back onto, sliding off with that sider. Saru fighting that such a risky committal sider, because had that not connected, you would have been sweating in a bit of a nasty position. It does not matter. The juggle does not stop. The downer connect. When you get that spike, when it's finally not the grounded downer, and you get that spike, it feels so good, PJ.
Yeah, that's an orb classic there. See the unarmed attempt here, gets the side light, sends back off stage, looking to line up an end or down light into ground pound potentially. We see a haymaker there miss its connection, and all of a sudden now you got Saru, who has the gauntlets again and looks to punish you for your mistakes. Going for the down air there, and
he's
avoiding the ground pound.
It's gonna be again Saru going back over the stage with the recovery, and Sphinx just waited. Sphinx waited, held on to the stage, and was able to successfully punish, committing to that downer. Not able to get that whiff punish with the neutral either.
For these orb connections here, getting the side light into side air at this kind of past 150 damage to send off stage. Going for the GC down sig there, the spirit bomb, but didn't find its full connection. Side light there on the jump or dash line right in front, but didn't get a much string off of it, and there a string finds its connection. You got Saru, who gets the side light into the recovery to close out that stock, and This is definitely different than the first couple games. Now you're seeing Sejaru with a lead, which we haven't seen all too much of.
N-light, side light, D-light as well. That already put you into the yellow. That's a good amount of damage. Sejaru fighting on the N-light, backing off, looking for that D-light into the neutral as well. Sejaru is doing amazing at the moment, but Sphinx fighting back a little bit, able to get the neutral, comes back out there for the sider. For once, I've seen Scythe Downer not connect when the opponent is next to it. What am I watching?
Yeah, there are crazy things happening here in Southeast Asia.
Oh!
But yeah, could not find a way back to the stage. They're getting a little too aggressive. I feel like there we were looking to see a rising side air, but instead we see a falling one, and you get punished very hard by Sejaru. He's able to get a ground pound and take the third game pretty cleanly with a 2-stock.
Yes, Sejaru's playing quite well at the moment. I have to say, really picking up the pace after the previous few games. I have to say the advantage state on that last stock with the orb was pretty solid. It was pretty good. Look at Petra's attack stat. Okay, look at Petra's force really quickly. Petra, especially if you're getting those kinds of dodge reads, what Sejaru is doing is hitting and then resetting and waiting. Hitting, resetting, waiting, and then oftentimes reacting to his opponent's dodge, and is succeeding with it as well.
Yeah, just some very, very clean offensive pressure, and it continues to kind of compound off of what you saw in game 1, which was just a lot of hitboxes, kind of making it so that you can't find any sort of control as Sphinx, and then now you're seeing kind of those coverages come in on the Petra, and this is where it gets really, really difficult to get anything going on Mordex, is when your opponent is able to start reading you and making it so that you can't find any footing, and you're already seeing the smothering game plan from Sejaru, who hits 2 nairs there, but gets flipped off stage by the Scythe. The classic and N-Light and Decider connects, and this is a scary spot to be in. The very low recovery in an attempt to edge guard there, didn't find its connection. We're back to center stage.
Oh my gosh, the D-light neutral into the DP. That was crazy. Okay, dashing and jumping, able to get that grab pound Sphinx. You know, I thought that was going to be Sejaru's stock, but Sphinx got in there. Sphinx got in there and cleaned it up.
On the back of an unarmed N-light, or sorry, side light to just send off stage, and then immediate pickup ground pound and immediate pickup there on the stock with that sider to close out that one, and we're down to an even game or even stock 2 here. But I think overall I feel like somebody is coming out on top in these stock situations. You're not seeing like both players living to like 150 damage on their stock. It's somebody stringing someone and then KOing them, and the other person on the comeback attempt, and you're already seeing this here on Sejaru, who gets a big PJ orb extension there.
I feel like I see a little habit. I think Sphinx, every time that we've seen a dodge, it has been consistently the same dodge out, which I feel like is important to do against Gauntlet, so that you're not getting hit with like a recovery all the time. But Sphinx has done this really, really often after getting hit by either like an Orb D-Light or like a Gauntlet side light. I want to see Sejaru capitalize on this.
Yeah, you definitely can find a lot of punishment if you just get caught dodging away by orb. You can get like side light and then a GC other side light off of the dodge away. So you have to be very careful here. But
you have to be a little bit closer, right? Because a little bit too far away, and the GC side light's not going to connect, which we did see actually a couple of times transpire. So I'm curious. I have that tell in my mind. I'm curious if Sejaru can pick up on that. Dodging in that time around though, so maybe proving me wrong. Sphinx dashing in, dashing out, finding a side light of their own as well.
Mirror has been very important on who's able to close out these stocks, but there it is. You called out this the dodge away, and it gets capitalized there with a double side light into the recovery on the gauntlets. You can't do it forever, because eventually Sejaru will also pick up on it.
Yep, that's right. That's that dodge out. And so the question is, will you adapt? Or honestly, doesn't even matter, because Sejaru is the one that is off stage. Sphinx patrolling the air, threatening so much, dashing through, crossing up, and the side light didn't connect that time. The recovery didn't KO off the top. Sejaru picks up gauntlets, dodging out as well here, and cannot get back down onto the stage. That is going to be it. That's going to be the catch with the side light, and that's going to be the KO.
Forcing a game 5 there, and it could have definitely gotten scary, but really smart, kind of calculated aggression there on that last stock, realizing, okay, I disarmed Sejaru, so I can't get reversal too bad. I'll go for the exhausted recovery. The exhausted recovery doesn't KO, but it sends and kind of forces forces Sejaru to land in the corner, and then Sphinx is able to capitalize there. So it was almost a good comeback from Sejaru, but it wasn't quite enough. as we get into this game 5, as we get Sejaru switching off the Petra in favor of the Cannon in the Onyx. So this should be a very interesting counter pick. Looking for some space potentially versus the Mordex, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't actually disagree with this pick very much, especially if you think about, you know, this is the most consistent I've seen Gauntlets KO in a while. Gauntlets can be one of those weapons where it's like, hey, if you KO, you KO. If you don't, you don't. So sticking with the Gauntlets on this is going to be a good idea. Onyx is always going to be an amazing idea just because, you know, that defense kind of egregious. You get to survive a long time. You get to stay on the screen for a long time, which really matters, especially if you consider how soon Sejaru was getting KO'd off the top.
Yeah, the Cannon in hand now. We'll see how it kind of changes, and already we're seeing kind of a similar game plan to the Gauntlets, like looking to stay very grounded and then catching landings with sidelight. Definitely a lot easier to do so on the Cannon. As I say that, the double sidelight into side air into the immediate weapon toss. Oh my goodness, that is just a completely different beast to handle, where as in Gauntlet you get hit by that sidelight, it's a vertical mix-up, but now Cannon forces you off stage, and as I say that, immediately scooping low with that down air, and we have a very even game here.
What a shove. You know, every time I get hit by Scythe down air, I feel like somebody just like pushed me full force, you know? At the moment, neutral doesn't connect. Sejaru gonna be sliding off with that down air as well. Picking up gauntlets. We got a bit of a gauntlet ditto happening right now. Also, just want to mention, you know, the skin choice from Sejaru, very tasteful. This is a beautiful Onyx skin.
Yeah, I think we saw Meg D using this earlier in the week at a community event, but nonetheless, like, yeah, it's important to have good drip, and definitely helps out here. But right now, you're going to need a little bit more than that versus Sphinx, who's been winning this gauntlet mirror pretty consistently. A nice end light to send off stage there, but a side light into recovery doesn't connect because a dodge away comes in as a defensive option. Looking to pick up a cannon, can't dodge through that end light, which is very active, and now you get weapon starved. That weapon toss might have been a little ill-timed because you're getting punished for it.
Can't believe that GC light that did not give Sejaru enough time to be able to jump away, and so the end light ended up connecting and it put him right back into disadvantage. Sphinx is looking so comfortable this game so far, whiffing the side light, neutral down it as well. Cannon sider comes out, okay, just putting Sphinx off stage for just a moment in time, and like gonna be in the wrong direction. You needed to go behind you. Oh no, Cider chase dodge in, but Sejaru is not getting any cannon strings. Cannon is a weapon that needs them. It can't just have a bunch of one-off hits.
Yeah, especially when you're not winning the gauntlet mirror. You can use cannon as a way to confirm KOs, but you have to get some damage to do so as the side stick comes in, and now we're both unarmed, going for the dash jump turnaround. Ground pound once again didn't find enough momentum, but the end light will send off stage, and now you have one more mix-up. It's guess for game on the wall, and you guess right with the dodge in place to avoid that side light, but not there as the dodge down gets punished by the recovery, and Sphinx is able to close out this game 5 with a 2-stock and a very dominant last couple games.
This was a suspiciously large amount of sidelight recoveries coming out. You know, it's very good for Sphinx. I would like to clarify this. If, hey, if Gauntlet is finding those, that's amazing. You have made this weapon consistent. But I feel like they've happened a lot. And Sejaru has just gotten caught by each and every single one, especially when dodging down. What other defensive options should Sejaru have been alternating between to avoid that?
I think, especially when you're avoiding sidelight into recovery, I think the first thing that people think of is like, okay, dodging, but I think dodging is only really good when you have something to dodge to. I think a lot of times people get kind of caught like off stage dodging because they're like, I want to also get back on stage at the same time. So it's like a double read where it's like, not only am I gonna cover this dodge because you're getting hit by sidelight, but also you're looking to get back to stage. So in a lot of these spots, you have to be very kind of informed on why you're dodging. A lot of the best players in the world will get hit by gauntlet sidelight and then do nothing and just utilize their drift as a way to land down, because it's like, do you really want to commit to this recovery? If you mess up the dodge, I get a reversal for it. So in a lot of spots, especially in the gauntlet mirror, I wanted to see more waiting and not doing anything, where as Sejaru, like on the first beat possible, like I have to dodge here, and it just got
especially
caught so
because Sphinx has been going for the weight punish, right? And so this is the point of like a 50-50 ultimately, which is you need a set of 2 options to be able to alternate between, and waiting and doing nothing is pretty important for when somebody is not buffering the recovery, right? They're not going for it immediately. And also I do feel like, you know, on the topic of dodges, Sejaru did burn them a couple of times, especially getting back onto the stage. And so Sphinx was just able to call that out successfully.
Yeah, it's very important to be really, really confident in your reads, especially on a legend like Mordex that really depends on it. And it's cool to see Sphinx kind of able to defend their region, quote unquote. I mean, Seijaro is somebody that was coming in from the EU, so it's cool to see Sphinx do well there with a Game 5 victory. Moving on to face Tiger in elimination side quarterfinals, which should be very exciting. But yeah, all in all, I'm pretty excited for this bracket so far. I feel like we've gotten some pretty great matches.
We sure have, and it seems like we're going to be waiting on our next one coming on up just at the moment. Well, is actually what I would say, because I've just been informed that we will be going to a quick little break instead. So everybody, if you're enjoying the show thus far, keep in mind we're not going anywhere quite yet, except for just a couple of minutes. Get yourselves a snack, get yourself maybe a little bit of water, and PJ and I will go ahead and take it away in just a couple minutes.
Get ready to meet the Starlight Champions in Brawlhalla's Battle Pass Season 10! He may look dreamy, but eventually he shows his horns. It's Fallen Prince Taros! Which epic challenger can face the Fallen Prince? It's Miracle Magi Starlight Mirage! Play, level up, and unlock celestial loot! Daylight Star Magi Fate! Tuxedo Bandit Caspian! Mecha Knight Magyar! Leading Magi Starlight Vita! Get extra special rewards and tier skips with the Deluxe Pass! New Kita Kita colors! The power of friendship brings everyone together! Champions rise up in the magical Starlight Falls! Feel the magic of the Starlight Champions in Brawlhalla's Battle Pass Season 10!
Welcome back, everybody, to the top 8 of Southeast Asia. I'm Daru, joined by my lovely, incredible co-casting PJ. We've had a couple of matches so far. PJ, how do you feel about the competition?
It's really great. I always like to talk about Southeast Asia as being its own little region that's able to really develop its own meta. So it's always exciting to be able to cast some Southeast Asia, especially at a trial event. But I'm really enjoying myself. How are you enjoying the matches so far, Dara?
I'm enjoying it thoroughly myself. We're seeing a lot of, I feel like what is the antithesis of passive play? We're seeing them go in, and we're seeing them go in often, and we're seeing them edge guard each other and hold down the stage, and, we're seeing some pretty aggressive advantage states. So, with that being said, we have another match coming on up. Let's talk about the ones that we've already seen. Keith took it over 3-1 in a win over Himwe, which is pretty good considering how the last few sets have gone. Sphinx took it over Sejaru, which permanently knocks Sejaru out of the tournament, I believe, at 7th. And then we're going to be seeing Serenity up against Hebby. Now, Serenity, a player that we've definitely seen up here before. I don't know who Hebby is.
Hebby, I definitely know as a Sidra player. Hebby is somebody that whenever I get to commentate them, it's usually that, but it hasn't been finding that much success of recent, but nonetheless, we have them getting 17th at Trial of Skuld, Southeast Asia. But Hebby is somebody who from the United Arab Emirates, so somebody from the Middle East. Should be very excited to see how they're able to stack up. I know them for also playing legends like Zol, as well as Hammer legends like Scarlet and Cassidy, so I'm interested to see why they're picking Sidra here, but I'm sure they'll be able to show it versus Serenity, who's playing the Black Knight or the Orion crossover, which is a very exciting matchup, I think. Something that we don't get to see quite often.
Yeah, we have, a couple of heavy weapons on the screen. Let's see how it's going to end up working out. Everybody, game number 1, Serenity up against Hebby. And so this is going to be a bit of an interesting matchup. I feel like especially Cannon Lance, I don't get to see a lot at all. I don't know the last time I've watched Cannon Lance.
Yeah, I'm excited to see kind of how that matchup plays out. Both weapons very forward-facing, but nonetheless, we're seeing Hebby come out on top with the sword so far playing very well versus the Lance. But as I say that, the damage definitely not looking so, because we're seeing the Serenity Orion already kind of outpacing the Hebby damage on the Sidra.
Okay. GC D-Sig to hit behind you. The coverage on that is crazy because it doesn't actually need to be grounded. That is just how huge the vertical hitbox is on it. Serenity being nice and patient is going to be just fading back because, again, you get to cover so much space as Orion on Lance. Side Sig, D-Sig, side light, side A. The GC N-Sig did not connect. Serenity so comfortable in that position.
Looking already very, very solid there. As I say that, though, Hebby's able to find a down sig into the weapon toss, one of the couple sigs in the game that go for that like kind of arc into a spike, similar to Ezio there. But on the Sidra specifically, it's very snappy and something you have to be very careful for, because Hebby already getting a lot of extra credit there, but immediately gets swatted away by that spear recovery.
The advantage state of Cannon, the hitboxes, they're so active. Everything hits PJ. When you get that one dodge read, everything connects. That's not going to be enough to be able to go ahead and take out that stock. Dodging up, able to land successfully. Okay, dashing out a little bit. The sider not going to be able to come out in time. Avoiding the N-Sig, but the N-Light comes out in time as well. Hebby is doing a really good job exploiting the lack of N-Lag on some of these signatures.
Yeah, we're already seeing just so much dominance in a lot of these whip punish scenarios, which is something that Hebby is definitely going to be very good at. A very high pace and very active player, somebody that will definitely not allow you to make many mistakes, because you'll get KO'd very early forward, and you see another whip into an end light, and oh my goodness, you're stuck off stage. The recovery doesn't connect, but a nair from Hebby there, who's unable to make it back to the wall themselves, but so much damage. And that nair, if you got a little chase dodge after it, you might have been able to make your way back there, but nonetheless, you're happy with all that extra damage.
It's worth it. That kind of damage is absolutely worth it. And now you have Sword on hand. When it comes to consistent damage, when it comes to consistent KOs, Sword can do it for you. But the question is, how do you find this opening? Gonna be just whipping the N-Sig just as is. The D-Light not gonna be able to connect quite yet.
I love that from Hebby there, going for the weapon toss to give some space. But as I say that, Serenity steals the game away, gets the side light into the side air, catches a jump on an attempt to recover high, and Serenity is able to steal the game away. Oh my goodness.
That's Lance. Lance and Cannon, they're looking for the same thing. They want their side-to-side combo. They want to put you at the edge of the stage, and then they say, hey, do you want to jump? That's cool. That's against Q because I have a jump cider with your name on it. That was criminal. That was thievery. That was broadcast to 40,000 people on Twitch. Unbelievable. that was evil, PJ.
Yeah, that was crazy. What a crazy robbery of a game there with the Lance. And yeah, that is something that you definitely cannot give any Lance player. Kind of similar to Cannon. They're going to be very, very good at ushering you off stage horizontally, and then as soon as you go for a high recovery, you're just going to get called out for it. And unfortunately, their Hebby wasn't able to make it back. For those of you at home that are familiar with Southeast Asian players, Hebby is formerly known as Urahara, somebody that I've been able to commentate quite a bit, but now switching their tag over to Hebby and is playing very, very well in this tournament so far, looking to make a name for this new tag, but you can't really make your name for it there when you get hit by 2 side airs off stage by Lance. But nonetheless, we're getting into game number 3 on this Demon Island pick. Very excited to see the adaptation. Potentially just don't get cheese in those spots, but we'll see the spear online.
Speaking of don't get cheese,
Serenity. Oh my
don't
goodness.
Get cheese. Dude, what about cheese? They have the same thing. They're the same. PJ, why are they both capable of doing that to each other? And why did Hebby come out on top? It's because Serenity went down there. Oh no, PJ. What is happening?
They both can do it. It's equal. We are one and the same. We are cut from the same cloth there, which is funny because last game we saw 2 side air KOs off stage, and then we also see the down 6 trade out there, and Hebby's able to come out on top. You know, sometimes in those last stock situations, the person that gets the last hit gets the last laugh, and that's a very tough early lead for Hebby. But yeah, I mean, if you're Hebby, you're happy. If you're Serenity, you're definitely looking to make this comeback happen quite quickly. They're getting the SIG connection there, and now just really snowballing this game. This looks really tough for Serenity.
And this should have been Serenity's opening. This should have been Serenity's lead. That should have been Serenity's early stock. So the question is, how do you get your mental back together and fight your way back into even territory? The answer is not anytime soon. And be able to go ahead and successfully clean that stock up as well.
Man, this is looking tougher and tougher here on this Demon Island. I'm not too sure how you make this comeback happen versus Hebby's Cannon, which has already shown to be a big problem. Nice little side sig there, but it's not enough to KO, and you still have to find a way to close out this stock. A side air doesn't KO once again, and looking harder and harder. Oh, that was a crazy weapon toss into recovery. I like that a lot.
But excuse me? Okay, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cute. The weapon toss into the recovery to be able to close that out as well. Serenity now trying to even up the stocks, but the damage and the stock count still is not anywhere close. Hebby looking for that NSYNC. It is not connected quite yet. Serenity looking for any way to get back onto the stage. Sidelight, neutral recovery, getting this juggle on and getting this damage on too.
This is crazy. The side air comes in here for Hebby, and I feel like you're definitely not super like, okay, I'm gonna win this game. You still have to be very careful, especially with the way the last game ended. But the downlight into air, not enough to KO, but enough to continue this weapon start game. The downlight into recovery surely will be, as Hebby is able to close out the game off the back of a very tricky offstage situation.
What an opening from Hebby. That was a crazy opening. To be able to get such a confident and dominant lead from the beginning is amazing. And then I have to say, Hebby seemed a lot more patient in advantage state. Waited out a couple of dodge, and then if you're able to get a dodge read successfully as Cannon, congratulations. Cannon now has a side-to-side combo that at least puts you super deep off stage, if not altogether KOs you. So yeah, Hebby looked amazing that game.
Yeah, really clean stuff all in all, as we see a swap of drip here from Serenity to try to make a counter pick happen, but nonetheless, Hebby really showing off like their ability to really kind of take over a game and really snowball with a lead. That's something that Hebby is definitely known for, is if you're able to get a consistent lead, there's somebody that will not let off the gas, and you see their Serenity was never really able to find their footing off of that first stock down 6 shenanigans on the left side of the stage. But nonetheless, here we're on Small World's end, and we'll see how this game 3 plays out.
Sword on hand. Okay, Hebby just gonna be trying to find a way to deny Serenity. I don't know how that weapon toss didn't actually have an active hitbox to it. It's because I think it bounced twice. But okay, what a ground pound immediately. Serenity being nice and patient, waiting until Hebby was just far enough away that you could get away with a nice safe dodge.
Spear online here. I feel like this is we haven't seen much of the spear. I feel like versus the Sidra, you definitely want to create some sort of space, and I think that spear might be a good way to kind of mix up the pace of the match. And so far, it's working out very well for Serenity, who's able to call out that dodge away and up with a recovery of their own. And all of a sudden, we have Serenity able to equalize and even take the first stock there.
Side sig not going to be able to come out successfully. Okay. Hebby. Why did Hebby get the stock for that after whiffing 2 signatures? Did you deserve that? And actually not going to be enough. Hebby comes back onto the stage, opts to not finish chewing the food, and as a result, Serenity making it back on for a little bit until the GCD sig connects.
Crazy how many SIGs Sidra has that kind of mimic a lot of the other Legend SIGs there. That's a classic get off and kind of similar to some core signatures, but nonetheless, a double cannon there creates a pretty scary spot to be in. The side air hits a grounded Serenity, but right now Serenity looking to make the spear work again. I feel like the spear in that first stock really showed that this is something you have to be worried about as the cannon versus it, because it's really good at just poking away the cannon and getting some pretty good damage. As I say that, very aggressive side stick gets punished with a downlight.
Oh yeah, this is the safe weapon of disjoints, and somebody that keeps on leaning into you will inevitably get punished. The GC side light was able to successfully call out the dodge.
Nice coverage!
Last hitbox of the D-light. I cannot believe it connected, but we have to see it. We saw it happen, and we saw the D-light into the ground pound. That was an amazing advantage, say PJ. That catch on the dodge was, mwah, it was delicious.
That's exactly what you want to see on the unarmed. That downlight confirms into every move in the entire game, so it's cool to see that able to cover that very, very low, but also just high enough to be above the wall. Recovery there, and all of a sudden Hebby with the lead can be very, very scary to deal with. We'll see if the Lance is able to find a KO, looking to cover a jump, but ultimately finds the KO with a side air grounded. And all right, it's down to a last stock here. It could be anyone's game.
Can be anybody's game, but Serenity is at the slight deficit. Here's what I would say. GC sidelight through the continuous coverage. Neutral down a ground pound as the landing option is so committal, but it ended up connecting, and it gave Hebby a bit of peace of mind. However, the dodge-in gets caught by the Ensig. Oh, this is snowballing.
It's getting tough here versus the Lance, especially on the sword. I feel like you might want to see yourself on a cannon here, because the Lance is just controlling so much space, throwing the sword away in an attempt to get some unarmed damage, does with that downlight into recovery, and now the cannon is back online looking for the signature connection from both players, but a side air wins out on top. As Serenity is one hit away from closing out this game 3.
Oh gosh,
can't believe they're able to make it back.
Yeah, Hebby took that opening with the D-Sig, was able to go ahead and find the downer as well. Lance up against sword. The N-Sig connects. It's not going to be enough to KO quite yet. Dodging past the downer, getting denied of a weapon just for a moment longer.
Oh, it works again!
That's
I
crazy.
cannot believe it. That was twice in a game. Heavy's able to find the GC down sig to call out stacking from Serenity. I cannot believe it worked.
I want to see if
that
it
was
was
insane.
disconnected. Look at the way that GCD sig hit. Well, not that first one, but they would be able to go ahead and close that one out as well. You know, Hebby, I saw somebody in Twitch chat say that Hebby is playing Sidra like Lin Fei, and honestly, I kind of see it because we're seeing a lot of buttons pressed in really like quick succession and taking advantage of a lot of the lack of end lag on some of these signatures, especially when it comes to Canon N-Sig. We're seeing like that get whiffed to Canon D-Sig. Well, excuse me, Canon N-Sig with either weapon. We're seeing both of them come out and both of them go unpunished, and then Hebby always has like another hitbox ready to go.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy, but nonetheless, I feel like it's just a lot of pretty good control from Hebby in those like really bad scramble situations. I feel like as Hebby, you want to kind of create chaos, because in a lot of spots like that, I feel like when it was sword versus Lance and it was just like very consistent neutral game, it got very, very scary where the Lance was able to just kind of run away with the game. But you know, there you're able to see Hebby pick up a cannon, create chaos, and win those scrambles, especially with that GC down sig, which is a great way to cover that stacked on top hitbox there. It's essentially a cannon ground pound, but instead of having only a hitbox right below, it covers the entirety around you as well. So it works out well as Hebby is able to take that game number 3, and now we're 2-1 with Hebby in the lead. And if not for Serenity stealing that game away, it could be over. So Serenity's still in this set.
Yeah, that GCD sig, by the way, not only does it, like, you know, I feel like it's strong and I feel like it's big, it also repositions Sidra quite a bit, right? So there's a lot of factors that you have to take into account when it comes to just, like, respecting this move, and then also trying to punish somebody for going for it, and then also the kind of space that you're trying to cover and land against. I think Hebby did a really good job of exploiting that move, right, to their advantage, and so going into the next game, we're going to see how it goes.
I definitely think I think signatures are interesting because there's signatures that just have no lag, and then there's signatures that are a little bit laggier but move your hurt box so much in a confusing way where it's hard to punish. Like, how do you really punish Sidra down sig? Like, you can't downlight on a lot of weapons because it covers so much horizontal ground. It's scary to stack on top because if they time it correctly, they can, like, avoid your move, and then now you're stacked into the hitbox. So, like you were saying, like, moves that shift you that much, it's like, how do you really even punish it? And that's what Hebby's kind of playing off of.
Right? Because a move like Sidra's D-Sig, if you whiff it in neutral, you know, depending on the weapon, you usually have a grounded anti-air option to be able to catch it in some way or another. But yeah, I feel like this is something that especially people from other platform fighters, or at least with myself, they struggle with, specifically with Brawlhalla, which is how good signatures are in this game, right? Compared to like other games of specials. You can press them through signatures that you just have to completely respect and make sure they don't have the space to do it again. Otherwise, there's ones that you will be able to successfully punish sometimes. Right now, though, Hebby gonna be so nice, gonna be so safe, gonna be looking for that end light and using the side just to back away.
Yeah, we don't get to see a lot of Western Air Temple, but when we do, I think we see a lot more of a controlled playstyle, and we're already seeing Hebby utilizing these soft platforms as a way to kind of bait Serenity to be aggressive. But as I say that, it's not working quite as well because you're getting hit by 3 nairs, but nonetheless, you make your way back, and yeah, this is some pretty aggressive playstyle from Serenity, who's definitely the one to push the issue so far on the Lance.
Oh, yeah. Okay, spear on hand, just gonna be opting for the Lance. The GC Ensig connects. That's the beauty of GC Ensig, by the way, at the ledge with cannon, which is if you whiff it, you're not getting edge guarded. But you know what? That's enough of that. Enough about me. Serenity taking it off the top with the unarmed recovery, and now Hebby gonna be sitting at 2 stocks.
Nice little side light there to create some space to pick up a weapon, but the sword definitely hasn't found a lot of success. As I say that, though, there goes the down air and there goes the breakdance. There's always time to dance in Brawlhalla, and there it closes out a stock.
That was so optimal, wasn't it?
It was
down
crazy.
to be able to punish the side from, you know, Serenity. That was huge on Hebby's behalf. Really nice job. Okay.
Nice little side air there. Almost the flip with the down air. That would have been crazy.
They both made it back on somehow.
Yeah. Side air, it's a very, very late hitbox able to hit there. Give some space for Hebby, but it's not much. But a ground pound hits and it sends off stage. Going for the slide off Ensig is crazy to me. I'm not sure what exactly that's going to cover, but I think we're just seeing Hebby kind of let that one rip, and hopefully the cannonball finds a connection.
Oh
okay,
my
there
gosh.
It covers and forces a high recovery into there. That was crazy. Never mind, I'm wrong. Hebby's right.
That was unbelievable. Hebby said, hey, you know my Ensig? You know how this doesn't have lag? I'm gonna immediately jump neutraler. Hey, you know how my neutraler helps me land here? I'm gonna press Ensig and neutraler again. Okay, that's it. That's the Sidra mindset. That's the Sidra grindset, baby. You have to exploit your lack of end lag and put out as many hitboxes as possible.
That was honestly crazy. I was thinking, like, okay, the Ensig is, you're trying to hit with it, but it's actually not even like a hitbox you want to hit with. It's more so just one that forces your opponent to recover high, and then Nair is able to swoop up there. That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
There's some
The
movement here so far. Oh.
Wow, what a catch on the platform as well. Serenity doing amazing to even up the stocks. But now, that's a lot of damage they have to make up at the moment.
Oh, another down tick catches Serenity stacking on top of Hebby. Another Nair comes in off of the down tick. And okay, let's be careful now. The GC side light, that could have been very scary if Hebby didn't hit a button or a defensive option.
Saru comes out, Serenity makes it back on. Serenity respected the Ensig and then waited for the second option because that's always the laggier one. Okay, landing with the neutral, doesn't find the Saru, backing away, avoiding the D-light. Hebby, is that gonna be it? Yes, it will be. The dash and D-light into the recovery off the top is able to successfully KO. But the adaptation, I saw the beginnings of that adaptation. I saw the beginnings of that patience that we needed from Serenity.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it was too little too late as Hebby was able to close out that set. I mean, you're definitely happy too, because I feel like if Serenity takes that game, it becomes very tricky, because we were able to see what Serenity's able to kind of push themselves into, where you see a very aggressive Serenity, but you also see somebody that's very consistent there, and we are seeing some tragedy on the replay so far, but a really fun set to watch. We don't get to see Sidra versus Orion all that often, but we get a little bit of a Lance Spear treat there, but nonetheless, we're going to be seeing Hebby move forward into top 8. I believe that confirms their spot into elimination side semifinals. So they're confirmed 4th place versus who we have up next, which is Tiger versus Sphinx.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing Tiger versus Sphinx in just a moment. But yeah, I feel like something I did want to touch on one last time before we do move on to the next set is the adaptation that Serenity started making against Hebby, and what it actually means to go up against moves that have very little end lag. They might seem so scary, they might seem so broken, but especially when we're talking about like Sidra, Cannon, and Sig, right? Like the projectile. The goal is to punish not the move itself, but to punish what they do after, especially because Hebby was really oftentimes going for on the ground. We saw grounded and Sig, and then immediately like an end light or so. That is the move that you're trying to punish, or at least that is the move that you're trying to take the end lag of and get back onto the stage against. So it's bait. You have to know in that moment that you're going to respect this, they're going to wait a little bit, and that is really the key. So Serenity had the right idea, but I feel like a little bit too late towards the end.
Yeah, just some really great adaptation there, but you know, as you were saying, it was just a little bit too late. But nonetheless, Serenity at a respectable 5th place is going to bow out to Hebby as we get to see who Hebby will be playing in elimination side semifinals. We got Tiger versus Sphinx. We saw Sphinx a little bit earlier being able to 3-2 over Saru, but now you're playing Tiger. Tiger is somebody that hits a lot of buttons, definitely abuses the low dex nature of Koji. So we see 2 Kojis in Southeast Asia, and we'll see a kind of a different take on it. I especially expect to see a lot more bow from Tiger as compared to Himwei in the winners final set we watched.
And already that got the GCD light from Sphinx. That was a little bit greedy. You get caught by that side light. You know, I love bow side light because it always hits a little bit more above the ground than you think it does. It's not a good anti-heal. It doesn't catch you know, jumps all that well. But sometimes bow side light comes in clutch.
That's definitely right. I mean, you have to be very, very careful on where you're whiffing and kind of what space you're occupying versus the bow. But we see some weapon tosses there, and the gauntlet's in hand, but immediately some weapon tosses away. That's curious. Somehow finding more success on the unarmed, though, the haymaker to cover the dodge into the ground. The recovery almost connecting, but a very smart weapon toss from Tiger. And man, this is very, very fast-paced. I really can't keep up.
Okay, gets that end light. Nothing else going to be coming out of it quite yet, though. The GC and Sig, not enough to take it off the top either. Tiger backing up a lot. Sphinx keeps on going through the high recovery, using the weapon toss to force out the jump. Gets the downer to be able to catch Sphinx from going behind as well. But as Bo, the question is, can you KO? How do you KO? The answer is D-Light, my friends. But you're not going to be able to D-Light if you're stuck off stage and you're eating a cider from Sphinx.
Okay, it's interesting to see what weapons Sphinx is playing into, and I feel like we're seeing more of the idea where maybe you don't want to see a scythe in this game, number 1, but a landing side air from Tiger is able to close out that stock. Sphinx now getting weapon star. If you're picking up a scythe, I think is cycled, but we will see the bow and whiffing quite a bit, but no, it's just more gauntlets from Sphinx, who's willing to play this very movement-based weapon into a weapon that covers a lot of space, but also has some pretty tough dead zones to deal with.
Okay, looking for the cider, unfortunately, only really leaning into the side when you go for it. The downer is going to be able to connect, but gauntlets, they have that one last secret recovery option in the form of cider. Neutraler comes out. Sphinx looking for the side light. D-light into the neutraler as well, going to be coming out. Nice true confirm. Nice good damage. The cider just to be able to shove you off stage.
Really avoiding these rising aerials from Sphinx is Tiger right now, who's looking at snipe out a landing there. Has a damage lead for the first time in this set. Gets the downlight into the recovery to close out that stock. And yeah, that's what you have to be worried about versus Koji is they're very willing to hit buttons and cover space, but also you have to be very particular on what you're trying to whiff punish, because it can easily go sour there, especially when you see that GC downlight to punish you for trying to take some space versus a whiff move.
Downer comes out. Gonna be jumping off the stage looking for the downer. What an optimal
What was
punch.
that? That was a crazy side sig and a very clean punish from Sphinx. I cannot believe we saw that. It's insane.
Yeah, I don't know what Sphinx's intentions were, excuse me, Taigu's intentions were, but they did not actually end up succeeding in the endeavor. So at the moment, though, Sphinx looking for his side light, not gonna be able to find it. Taigu doing what Bo does best, which is to sit at mid range and then like dash in place until 1 out of 10 times you decide to go for D light. That's Bo neutral, baby.
Yeah, it's definitely the closest to a fishing rod. You're definitely fishing for those moves, but nonetheless, you're doing the same kind of on Scythe here, who finally gets a downer off another dead zone from one of the hitboxes on the bow. But yeah, okay, going for the big side sig there. That was a crazy read attempt.
I don't feel like I see that side sig connect from Koji much at all in this kind of
No, yeah, it's yeah. Everyone wants it to hit, but it just doesn't.
Space in the game, does it?
It covers less than his normals do, so it's definitely not something that you want to see on a bow signature, I feel like. Okay, let's see the juggle there. I thought we were going to see a recovery, but the weapon toss comes in.
Oh gosh, Taigu in a bit of a nasty position right now. Sphinx looking for that end light. Not going to be able to find it. Taigu,
No way.
Then... Oh, the end sig didn't connect. It was so close.
You gotta stop sigging. The sigs are not working for Tiger, as Sphinx is able to punish them almost every single time. The end sig doesn't connect. The end light hits, but I feel like throwing away your juggle off of a read that covers exactly one option, it's definitely very, very scary to go for, as Sphinx is able to be just a little bit more stable in that advantage state. I feel like we're seeing Tiger really swing for the fences and missing really, really hard for it.
For sure. Yeah, you mentioned it best. You're missing, you know, quite a bit for some of those side sigs in your advantage state. I don't understand it very much. I think it's one of those signatures that might have gotten power crept a little bit. I mean, if you hit it, you hit it. But it's definitely not the least exploitable signature in the game. And it's also definitely not the biggest hitbox signature in the game either. So we'll see what happens in this next game. Taigu opting for the sword, making the most out of that end light, side light, and then just tries to dash in there with an unarmed end light as well.
Oh, taps it in.
That hit?
yeah, it did hit. It hit very, very deep in the hitbox. I'm surprised that that fully connected as well, and it sent even into the wall there. Oh, you know what? It's because Sphinx did a turnaround ground pound there. I just watched the delay on the mainstream there. You do a turnaround ground pound, so it's able to cover the very deep hitbox. Very clean stuff from Sphinx, who's now running away with this lead on the Scythe, who is just completely checking the defensive game on Tiger. Sphinx is really playing well right now.
Okay, the sider just gonna be putting Tiger off stage. Sweating, you got one jump, you got one dodge left. Okay, the reversal is huge though. Able to get the neutral. Actually, in my opinion, putting Sphinx into not that bad of a position to be able to land back down onto the stage. Tiger is struggling to KO. We need to find this KO. Beat light into the sider is finally gonna be able to do it.
These kind of scramble situations are very, very scary for Tiger, I feel like, who is just getting kind of pieced apart by this Scythe so far. Wow, that was a crazy
again. Why is it so active? It feels like Soil Dash attack sometimes, right? Where it's like, oh, this goes on longer than you think it should always go. Tiger picking up the Soil now. Sphinx has a massive lead.
Yeah, it's also the most plus on hit normal or light attack in the entire game, so you have to be very, like, not only is it very active and deceptively long range, but also if you get hit by it, they can combo you into literally anything. So you have to be
it's one
very
of those moves
careful.
that you get hit by, you put your controller down, you put your face in your hands for like a second, and then you put it back up and you're like, oh wait, they didn't even go with the combo because I was still, you know, stuck in the animation of it all. But right now, Sphinx gonna be looking for this,
A lot of 6 right now is what he's looking for. He's looking for anything to stick, but hasn't really found it there. And another GC side sig, and we're just seeing some crazy reads come out from Sphinx, who has so much of a lead. I feel like, why not, right? Another
at
side
this
sig
point,
doesn't connect.
you can do all kinds of unconventional options that Tiger is just straight up not ready for. You get that end light, you're able to go ahead and successfully shove Tiger off stage, Scythe in hand. Ooh, big width, does give Tiger a bit of an opening. Whipping that D-light as well, jumping back on, and light, recovery, Tiger has a chance, Tiger has a shot.
Alright, here we go. Very, very low, or very, very high in the damage, I should say, and comes in there. Definitely, or sorry, and Nair comes in. Not enough to KO, but it will set up some pretty tricky spots. We'll see if a comeback is in order, but it doesn't seem to be so there, as that end light comes in from Sphinx to close out that game.
Yeah, Sphinx is continuing to look quite good here, especially in advantage shade, especially when it comes to consistently denying Taigu. And I feel like again Taigu might be struggling a little bit with this bow, excuse me.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of what a lot of bow players are finding themselves struggling with, is just like versus these weapons that are so strong in the meta that are able to really punish my dead zones in my hitboxes. It's really tough to find activation, and I feel like Koji Sigs are like, on paper it's cool to have them because it's like a bow.
You said it yourself.
But...
bow is bottom tier and needs to get buffed. Thank you, PJ the Puff, for advocating for you know, my weapon. I appreciate
Dude, it's tough because it's like every time I get on the mic with someone that plays like a bad weapon, they're like, oh, this is it, PJ the Puff, you know, but it's true, like, bow sucks right now. I feel like bow's definitely like in a spot that's like kind of tough versus a lot of the matchups that you see a lot in this current meta. Not bad on paper, but in practice in this meta, very tough.
It's so difficult. Sidelight should have the same range of Axe D-Light. Okay, excellent. Sphinx able to successfully touch the wall, maybe now? Excellent.
Another
You make it
grab
back
on,
on
really?
for a little bit. You wait out the unlight.
Tiger's interesting because Tiger will go for like really crazy aggressive options that are like 1 in a million to hit, but in spots like that where another ground pound is the aggressive option but the good one, we don't even see it. We see like some pretty interesting spots to want to play very patient, but maybe it doesn't matter as you have another edgeguard sequence on Sphinx who picks up a scythe here, and this is definitely the weapon that you're most scared of because you've been seeing Sphinx really run away with games with that scythe, but that downlight into recovery does close out that stock, and we could see a reverse 3-0 if Tiger can continue to pick up on this sword.
You get that end light, you get that side light. Unfortunately, side light at the edge of the stage, kind of the most difficult to connect though. Chase dodging down, looking for a downer. Tiger, relax. Hello?
The weapon toss actually connects there, and we see a dash through end light on an attempt to cover that space, and yeah, you're seeing a lot of Sigs come out from Tiger and a lot of coverage, just looking to really snowball this lead and get as much damage out of it as possible, potentially stock the end light sends off stage for Scythe and or sorry, for Sphinx, I should say, and you can't get an edgeguard there as Tiger is just too willing to swing out, not respecting the edgeguard at all.
Sphinx gonna be looking for that side. Gets a side light, not gonna be able to catch that dodge out. Tiger just opting to dodge in place. Okay, chase dodging down. I think that was a misinputted, you know, dash afterwards, but that's okay. Comes back on with the recovery. Tiger is still holding on to this lead. Whoa!
Okay, that was crazy. The weapon toss down into the ground pound, picks up the weapon, dashes back to center stage, covers the dodge in with the Sig. That was pretty sick. We finally see a signature connection on the bow for Koji, and maybe it's a sign of what's to come because it's looking very dominant here in this game number 2.
Oh, side light, D-light, weapon toss up to be able to catch a jump and then hopefully pick up the next weapon, but Sphinx just able to get in between the and able to go ahead and break that up a little bit. Tiger coming in with the unarmed end light, eating a cider. Oh boy.
Yeah, this should be a pretty easy game for Tiger to confirm. I feel like unless you allow like some crazy edgeguard sequences to happen, you just have so much control on Koji here, who's able to cover so much so quickly. The recovery comes in, covers the attempt to get back to center, and Tiger starts his long trek to a reverse 3-0. We could see it here, but we'll see how Sphinx adapts. Getting into this game number 4, we'll see how this goes. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how Sphinx is able to adapt to this very new playstyle from Tiger, where Tiger is playing into Tiger's strengths. I feel like this is what he's good at, is playing very fast and very smothering. We'll see. We'll see, though. Who knows?
He was able to get his bow advantage. He was able to get his win condition, right? Which is, you know, you're trying to lead somebody in the defensive options after you do like something like a side light. And I also feel like Sphinx got caught on a couple of different GC options.
3, 2,
And so we'll see what happens in his next game. Tiger, that was such a good adaptation. That was just a different beast.
It was it's definitely tough, especially when your opponent kind of switches like their playstyle so much into like a very like far end, right? Because if somebody starts playing really campy or very aggressive, it's hard to kind of snap yourself out of the previous games, and I feel like this is the exact scenario that Tiger will kind of punish you for, having that little mental, you know, like, okay, I don't know exactly how to deal with this yet, and you'll get reverse 3-0 for it. But Sphinx already putting up a much better showing in this game.
Tiger backing off a little bit once again. Sphinx able to get the side lane, able to get the recovery. You sweating on the way back down, only finding a side sig unsuccessful as well. Neutral and keeping up this juggle. Sphinx has taken so much damage, but this is just about anybody's game at the moment.
There to disrupt and get the weapon off of Sphinx, who is now in a really tough offstage situation. Tiger following there, didn't swing to the last moment, realizing, okay, you're gonna have to do either a jump or a dodge to get back to stage. I'm gonna wait for it and then side air it, and Tiger is able to confirm with a very clean edge guard. But Sphinx on the scythe, I feel like we haven't seen a lot of scythe in that last game, and we'll need to see a lot more moving forward in the set, because it was kind of their way they were able to confirm a lot of these KOs off stage. We'll see it there with the side light into side air. Didn't find enough to KO, but still in a pretty good spot there. As I say that, though, giving up a lot of stage control in favor of going for a deep edge. Right, the side air does close out that stock, though.
Yep, gets sent at a nasty angle. Tiger has no hope of making it back onto the stage. And now we'll see what he's going to be able to do here. Being nice and slow, being nice and gentle, picking up that weapon. Sphinx. Okay, just eating an Ensig. Tiger sliding off with another one.
Cannot believe the signature whiffs again from Tiger gets sets up these really crazy scramble situations. But nonetheless, both players looking to seize control out of it. The nair comes in and a down air sends off stage, going for the ground pound there. Didn't find its connection, but a weapon toss from Tiger gets immediately flipped as you try to go off stage.
The tragedy of bow D-Light. It's so difficult to bow D-Light because it pushes you forward. It's so difficult to edge guard with bow D-Light, Tiger. This is exactly what happens. It's tough being a bow player, okay? That side light, okay, gonna be looking for that end light unsuccessfully. Sphinx looking to threaten and land with that down air, but what Tiger is doing amazing is not staying on Sphinx's diagonals and instead just staying directly below. Right, because against Scythe, you're always afraid of them landing against you with a down air.
Okay, this is a big downer into the ground pound from Sphinx to tap in that stock and potentially deny a game 5 here. You definitely want to do so, especially because you have so much of a bracket to continue forward in. But Tiger is going to do everything in his power to force this next game. Nice little side air there, and I like this playing very vertically here and finally landing and getting a nice connection off of it. Jumping over the downlight, but gets hit with the end light again. A chase dodge comes in, but overall, I feel like Sphinx definitely keeping up with the pace a lot better right now, playing more vertically and forcing Tiger to swing first.
Sphinx being so aggressive, looking for this next opening kill at the moment. They're getting so close to each other. The end light comes out. They're trading different end lights. They're so even in damage, PJ.
Exactly the spot you want to be in here. If you are Sphinx looking to close out this set, I feel like this slight damage lead can definitely snowball into something greater if you can get a nice little extension off stage. But Tiger finds some control on the center of the stage with these down lights and catches with the side stick and the weapon toss immediately as well. Let's see what the edge guard is. Avoiding the bow side air, that's a big opportunity, but I feel like Sphinx getting a little too aggressive trying to flip the situation unarmed. Didn't pick up a weapon in time. Has to be very careful because Tiger has the sword in line and is going to look to close out this game here. Has the bow online. Can you find the last hit to get the edge guard? The side air sends off stage. It's looking real tough for Sphinx to get back, but does find the wall. I cannot believe it.
Oh, but the dodge!
Oh my goodness.
The dodge and the sideline to be able to kick you off. Tiger able to go up and around, picks up the sword, eats another side air to the face. Sphinx,
what are we doing?
What are you doing? Pick up that weapon.
Pick up a weapon. Stop going off stage.
Charge a
this
little
is
bit
the
too
conversion.
long. That was the optimal play. It's optimal, but that was a little bit too long of a charge. You needed to immediately let it rip, but I think D-Light...
Full recovery, what did we end light for? We missed the end light into the corner, and the recovery does find a connection, and it does close out the stock. I thought we were going to see the recovery a couple seconds earlier with that whiff from Tiger, but nonetheless, Sphinx is able to clutch it out. That got real scary in that game 4, but oh my goodness, that was very, very clutch recovery to hit, and it finally mattered. And once again, you were saying how the bow kind of forces you in these really bad spots because you're trying to swing into the corner. You get caught there with that recovery.
That was a bit of a crazy last stock. That was, dare I even say, if I may, if I'm allowed, a little tiny bit of spaghetti, because there was a couple of really critical KO moments where, like, especially Sphinx was coming back onto the stage against Koji, and then had no resources left except the dodge, and then Tiger committed off stage, and so Sphinx was able to successfully dodge through. And then, you know, you have the unarmed end single. I forgot, it's the end strong or the end heavy. I got made fun of the one I called it before, so I need a reminder on what that actually is. But that is the optimal follow-up, right? People don't go for the D-Light recovery because that is optimal. It's able to go ahead and KO a little bit sooner. It's a lot higher in execution. This is a concept that I feel like is especially often talked about in Street Fighter, which is some of the DPs or just like other anti-airs in the game are a little bit more technically difficult to execute. So even though you could theoretically do it on reaction, the sheer difficulty in executing that is why some people would just go for the faster, cheaper option that doesn't nearly do as much damage in that moment, but you don't risk whiffing it or you don't risk misinputting it. In that moment, I think that is where Sphinx could have made that decision to go for the D-Light recovery instead, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I think something that traditional FGC players talk about that platform fighters don't is like the concept of tournament combos, right? Or like situations where it's like there is an easy option, and in high stress situations it's better to get a little bit more damage, but know in the heart of like in the moment that no matter how anxious I get or how scared I am going to hit this confirm. There you see somebody kind of swinging for it all there, going for the max damage combo, going for the most optimal thing, but sometimes it's not the best option because you drop it there and the game could have definitely went another way. But nonetheless, you know, we're going to be getting Sphinx moving on, but yeah, we got some schedule here. We got a Hebby versus Sphinx coming up there. We got Sphinx eliminating Tiger at 5th place, but we are locking into our top 4 players here into the elimination side semifinals, which has been very exciting. Yeah, that was a good
cool match. Sphinx is going to be going ahead and moving on successfully, and that means we're going to be seeing Hebby up against Sphinx. Hebby was the Sidra that we had the chance to see before a little bit, and Hebby was an aggressive Sidra. We saw a lot of signatures, we saw a lot of cannon neutralities, we saw a lot of cannon endlights, and so the question is Sphinx going to be ready for that high APM playstyle? Are they going to be ready for you know, dealing with that many buttons at once? Do you know how to navigate that? Do you know how to navigate this specific matchup? Because Sidra can be a bit of a check sometimes.
Yeah, for sure, and we'll see exactly how that plays out in a moment. But before we do, we're going to go to a short break, and then we'll be back with top 4 of Trial of Freya Southeast Asia. Stay tuned for that.
음식 시간이다.
문어 좀 먹을래?
더 큰 거 없어.
잘 먹을게. 크게 불태워보자. 배고파. 빨리 해보자고. Time to unleash the dragon. Rear powers 맛은 바로 이거다. 디저트도 먹어. I'm working up an appetite. 밖에는 거북이, 안에는 드래곤. 이기는 건 디저트만큼 달콤한 거야. 뭐 거의. Welcome to Brawlhalla.
Are you ready to dance with danger? You don't wanna samba with me. My kicks are a bit over the top. Vambora, this fight is about to get funky. Tá bom, let's dance. Ah, you can't dodge boots and bullets. My pistols make the best dance partners. You need a little splash of color. My bullets leave a lasting impression, but my dancing will take your breath away forever. Boas-vindas a Brawlhalla.
Welcome back, everybody. Trial Freya, Southeast Asia. We are here in the top 4 of bracket. We got Hebby versus Sphinx in the elimination side semifinals. I'm PJ the Puff, joined by Dara. As we get into this last kind of portion of the bracket, we are here in the top 4. So one set decides the podium. We got Hebby versus Sphinx. How you feeling right now, Dara?
I'm feeling pretty excited. It was really fun being able to see Hebby go out. It was really fun being able to see Sphinx go at it. As a bit of a bracket update as to what happened while sitting in grand finals is going to be the one and only Keith, who took it over Himwe. Himwe is going to find himself going up against either the winner of Hebby or Sphinx, and Hebby was able to successfully take it 3-1 over Serenity, and Sphinx 3-1 over Tiger, respectively. So we'll be seeing, you know, a little Mordex. We'll be seeing a little bit of Sidra. This is going to be some aggressive gameplay. I think that we have coming up in a moment.
Yeah, Hebby and Sphinx are two players that are going to be very, very high octane. I definitely think Hebby kind of showed that. I'm sorry, at the last part of the elimination side quarterfinals match versus Serenity. So we'll see how this one plays out. Hebby still going to be holding on to the Sidra, as we have Sphinx on the Tai Lung as well. So should be an exciting matchup between the two as we get into this top 4 of Southeast Asia here on Small World's End.
I feel like these are both characters that you like tend to shoulders up against whatever you fight them, right? Because there's a lot of things that you need to remind yourself about either of these matchups and the signatures, and quite frankly, the sheer amount of damage that they're able to go ahead and put out. So let's see who's going to be able to come out on top. At the moment, Sphinx is swinging for the fences. Oh my gosh, Endlight downer, and Hebby looking to close it all with that ground pound.
The cider into the stage actually sends Sphinx off stage once again, and then forces a really tough landing situation there. Yeah, exactly. Hebby is somebody who's going to be able to force you into these really chaotic scramble situations very consistently. And for the first time, I think we see a down or an end sig actually connect there.
Oh gosh, Hebby is already doing quite phenomenal. Those were 3 N6s in a row, and you whiff the first one, you're able to go ahead and GC N6 the other one, and it just comes out, and it's so quick, and it's so devastating. Hebby, just so much momentum, so much pressure right now. Sphinx able to land successfully using that sidelight, but no significant strings quite yet. Can you get this edge guard? GC sidelight doesn't come out. Huge weapon toss, but the cannon cider just enough.
This is looking definitely Hebby's game to lose here. Sphinx is able to close out that with the tournament combo, the downlight into the recovery. Keep it nice and simple, especially when Hebby's at such high damage, who looks to fight there on the weapon tosses, gets called out, hits like 2 hits of the nair, but gets hit by 2 weapon tosses, so maybe not the best option. But right now, Sphinx with the sight in hand, looking to continue this advantage state.
No punish after that initial Endlight. Goes through the weapon toss, using up the recovery. Hebby is going to be opting to pick up the sword, and now you will get just enough damage. D-Light recovery is going to be more than enough to be able to KO off the top. Hebby is looking fantastic at the moment.
I think Hebby's kind of a genius. These N-Sig placements are so smart. There, it forced Sphinx to go low, and then he got caught up by the dash-up N-Light. So you're seeing Hebby using it kind of like a Yumiko Sig in a sense, where it's like, if it hits, it's cool, but if it doesn't, it still takes away so many options and conditions these really terrible habits off stage. Really smart stuff from Hebby.
Yeah, and we'll talk about projectile theory in just a moment after this game, because right now Hebby is going to be looking for a way to get back onto stage. Does so successfully. GC D-Light into recovery is somehow not enough. Hebby looking to do something crazy. That touches the wall.
Sphinx has to give up space because Hebby... Hebby uses the down sig twice there to great success, and then going for the end sig there. Didn't find the connection, but that has to be tilting for Sphinx, who was unable to punish that sig. Hebby did it 3 times, and it worked every single time. Oh my goodness, the nair comes in. Sphinx in a bad spot there, avoiding the end sig, but didn't get a punish on it either, so not too bad for either player. But right now, Hebby looking like it's his game to win.
Okay, Hebby.
There it is.
There it is. Dash jump, dash land, back and forth, in place until you decide to press a sider. That is, I mean, you just got dash danced on. That's the best way to put it. You just got dash danced on, and at the last moment, you didn't expect a sider, and it came out and it connected. Okay, you know, you started talking a little bit about like the value of a projectile in Brawlhalla, or at least the value of missing one. And yeah, I feel like Sidra is one of the few characters that this applies to, alongside Yumiko. Well, especially when it comes to edge guarding with Sidra and Sig, the goal is not for the cannonball to connect. Projectiles don't have to hit. The goal of the projectile is to make your opponent do something else. Use a jump, use a dodge, make them do something that eliminates some of their resources. And that is exactly what Hebby is doing, in addition to taking advantage of the lack of end lag.
Yeah, and because of the lack of end lag, you're able to do a lot of end sigs in spots that like other legends that have projectiles just aren't really able to do so. So you're seeing a lot of success off of that for sure right now, as Sphinx is scouring out a way to break the mold with these gauntlets in hand. I feel like it's been the Hebby show so far in that first game, so I want to see Sphinx kind of get some aggression and some offense going, and really not let up the brakes, because I feel like that's what Sphinx is really good at, is kind of smothering his opponent, not giving space. But so far Hebby is coming out on top in that gameplay.
Okay, dash jumping, gonna be looking for that D-light, finds the D-sig, and oh, that angle.
Just KO'd outright.
Oh, that angle. That was brutal. That made any mathematician go, ugh. I don't like that one. That was
150, like maybe 120 damage on Sphinx at the most there, and it just straight up KO'd. Like Sphinx didn't even have a chance to recover. Hebby didn't have to do anything. It just outright KO'd, and I cannot believe that works.
Okay, gets in there with the neutral leg as well, backing off a little bit, able to catch the dodge with the down air, but not able to take him all the way down. Finally, the ground pound comes out, but at what cost? Look at the amount of damage that Sphinx has taken.
Okay, nice little pickup there versus the unarmed, going for the down air there, and an attempt to cover a dodge in. Just didn't really find much there, and okay, that's the one sig that Hebby hasn't connected with yet, is that end sig on the sword. We'll see if it finds some success, but right now Sphinx finding quite a bit of success with the gauntlets right now, getting a lot of damage for it. Another down sig attempt there, and another attempt from Hebby. And okay, I don't know why we're going off stage versus Hebby. I feel like that's fate you don't want to attempt, because when you do, you get caught by that down air and you lose your stock for it. What are we doing off stage? Just give Hebby some respect. That's happened every single time you go low.
Okay, looking for the down air. How do you actually make it back on? The answer is you do not. The dive kick, not going to be enough. Getting swatted away with that sider. By the way, unrelated, I love hitting sight sider. It feels so good, and you're like, oh, yeah, this move is huge, isn't it?
It's a great move. It's one that, you know, they talk about how hard it is to hit moves on Scythe, except Cider. That's the
except
one.
Cider. Nobody mentioned Cider. Every Scythe player conveniently leaves it out of the conversation.
Yep.
Right now, Sphinx gonna be looking for that sidelight, not finding it. Hebby tossing out that neutral. That's just a get off me option. You got 2 exclamation marks. You gotta get that gone.
With that sidelight connected off of that nair, that could have been the end of the game. But oh my goodness, Hebby with the weapon toss into the GC downlight unarmed, picks up the weapon, gets a nair for it, and the damage slowly swinging into Hebby's favor as the nairs come in. And this is kind of where the consistency of cannon plays into effect in the juggles. And finally an end sig connects, and Hebby is able to snowball off of that insane out of disadvantage weapon toss. GC downlight unarmed, picks up the cannon again, goes for a nair, sets up a juggle, wins the game for it. Hebby is playing way too clean.
This might be odd to say, but it felt like that game ended very similarly to game 1, where Hebby at the end just went, I am going to dash and jump back and forth until you do something that you shouldn't. In that case being, you know, jumping in like that. The end sig was a really nice way of being able to catch that, and it's such a good toss to the side.
That was absolutely insane there. I think I said it was a weapon toss, GC downlight unarmed, pickup ground pound from cannon, which is even crazier to hit, by the way. Very, very clean stuff from Hebby, and that's definitely not a tournament combo. You don't just go for that unless you're feeling it. That's a tough one.
Not at all. Neutral Cider connects. The final neutral is not going to be able to do so. Hebby Yeah,
No
it's
punish.
tough with sides sometimes, right? Sides hitboxes minus side are a little bit difficult to connect in those kinds of moments, especially when your character model is shifted.
Okay, going for the big down 6 swing there. Then immediate end light. That's a classic little trap from Sidra players. If you try to dash jump off stage and position yourself to hit Sidra holding onto the wall, you get caught by that end light. Or end sig, sorry.
Cannon in hand, just the very last
boom.
hitbox of Cider able to connect while that move is active. It stays out so long.
What a crazy move. Nice little end light there on the unarmed there. Sphinx, I feel like it has some moments where like you're seeing Sphinx and you're like, okay, this is the dominant gameplay we need to see from a Mordex. But then as soon as Hebby's able to get in the game, you're just seeing like a big differential. I find in terms of like punish and how much damage they're able to put out. I feel like Hebby just gets so much damage off of any opening. As I say that though, the end lights come in from Sphinx, who's looking to get some aggression started here.
D-Light, downer, looking for another downer as well, coming back onto the stage, N-Light, Cider, again, that same neutral who does not connect, Hebby, that grounded hitbox of the ground pound, everybody knows it, some people love it on Cannon, oh no. Love that fadeaway, by the way, from Hebby, that was huge.
I like that from Sphinx too, not going for like the super aggressive option, going for one that's risky, but not the most risky, because I feel like you've been caught out a lot for it. As I say that, go whiffing very, very big on that. And oh my goodness, the slide off N-Sig connects there off the backboard, isn't able to capitalize with a KO, but that GC down sig surely will. And Hebby is absolutely styling on the cannon right now.
I don't know what to make of that. I don't know what to make of that N-Sig. You know, it was
How do we
like
get
a
back
little
in the game after that?
anticlimactic because it didn't even KO. You know, the grounded, you know, the GCD sig that did KO, but oh my gosh, the side-to-side combo finally gets punished, eats that Cider at the end. Hebby leaned in a little bit too far, but got so much damage as a result.
Little movement here from Hebby, who's unarmed and has to deal with the gauntlets. The gauntlets do stay on the side of Sphinx here, who's looking to get some strings going, but a run off into the N-Sig to create some space between. The end light comes in and trying to catch an immediate jump. We see the Nair and we see the chase dodge down, a very scary spot, but the cannon Cider gets yourself back to the wall, but the juggle doesn't end as Sphinx is able to get so much damage there and slowly even up the damage. Not quite enough to even it up, but good to see that. And oh, there it is. Down sig.
That's going to be another signature to be able to finish out that game and to finish out that set successfully. Hebby gonna be moving on to elimination side finals. Yeah, so what did Hebby do good? I feel like Hebby's a little unpredictable sometimes, especially when it comes to finding those win conditions. When it comes to getting those final KOs, Hebby has just done something totally different each time.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what to even say about like how you would do that. A lot of times when I watch Brawlhalla and I commentate, I kind of think of it like, how would I use this set as a way to improve? I could not do the things Hebby's doing just because Hebby is so fast in the neutral game that these like crazy down sigs that go half the street away, or these slide off end sigs, if you go for that in your ranked matches, you get punished for it. It's just not gonna work.
Oh,
but
PJ,
Hebby, it works.
You brought up such a good point. You were so smart. Yes, this is something that I talk about all the time. I'm really glad that you brought this up, which is, why do pro players get away with these options when you sometimes might not? And the answer comes down to two things. First of all, mental stack is a very important concept. The second of all is momentum. In pure neutral, if you two have been playing quite passively against each other and nobody's committing to things like dash-ins, nobody's committing to things like dash jumps, you do a signature from across the stage and you look a little dumb, right? Because you're not really punishing anything. So there needs to be a fairly high APM game, right, where people are constantly moving in, dashing in against each other, going in for a lot of preemptive options, and so as a result they're not able to successfully react to them because they're busy doing something else. And then the second answer is mental stack, which is anytime that you're going up against any character or weapon in a fighting game, you're always thinking about what are the most obvious KO options and win conditions. Against bow, you don't want to get hit by D-Light, right, because D-Light and Light, you don't want to get, you know, your jump called out by recovery, and so you position yourself around those. And where real creativity creativity comes in is where you try to think about, okay, what option do they not expect in this moment? Is it going to be something like a D-Sig? Is it going to be something like an N-Sig, right? And really pulling those out at the last moment when they're trying to avoid a little bit more of the obvious ones. So it comes down to mental stack and momentum, and I think Hebby took advantage of both to be able to find all those different KO options, and that's why he's hitting it and you're not. Not you, PJ. I'm talking about some people.
My Sidra's
that need
different.
to
All right, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, my Sidra's awful. I go for those things. I get KO'd every single time for it. But nonetheless, we got Hebby moving forward into elimination side finals versus Himway. Himway, somebody who is always consistently getting top 3 in every single tournament for like it's been almost an entire year now of top 3s only in Southeast Asia. Who's playing the Mordex, so maybe trying to show off. Okay, Sphinx, you weren't able to do it. Maybe I will be able to. The last time they played against each other, Hebby actually took a set with a 3-0 versus the Taros, and then Himway in the run back was able to beat not only Hebby Sidra, but also the Cassidy and the Nyx as well on a Suri. So we'll see how this Mordex plays out. Mordex is a legend that Himway plays, but I don't see play all that consistently. Somebody that I see when they're on site, they're mostly playing Fate, but maybe wanting to play some Gauntlets as well.
Oh gosh, Hebby, how do you make it back on? Okay, bit of a nasty position to be in, especially against Himway's Mordex, right? Especially against Scythe. That is not where you want to be at all. Scythe is notorious for what it's able to make happen off stage.
Yeah, you definitely can't get away with as many shenanigans versus somebody like Himway, who's going to be very, very good at punishing offstage mistakes with the Scythe.
Oh gosh, okay, I saw the 2 weapon tosses and I didn't know which one would be responsible for the second thing, so it got a little bit spooky.
Yeah. That's definitely a Sig that nobody wants to get hit by, but it's definitely like the best of all of that archetype of Sigs of like doing an arc into a spike. It's just so fast and snappy and covers so much more space than it would look like, and going for 2 Sigs there with the N-Sig, creating some space between Himway.
Not sure what that was supposed to be, but that's okay because Himway was able to get the stock anyways, closing it out with that weapon toss, taunting as well. Yeah, this is. Uh-oh.
We need a second, but yeah, but both players will be back here. Cool, a nice little sportsmanship there as they were both trying to recalibrate their sensors maybe, but nonetheless we got right back into it here. The Scythe versus the Sword. We haven't been seeing a lot, or we haven't been talking a lot about the Sword on Hebby, but Hebby Sword is exactly what you need from a Sword. There's a consistent way to get those KOs.
I can't believe that worked. You saw Hebby's movement for a second. Walk, 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 walk. Okay, cool. You jumped and jump sider to be able to punish that. That was crazy.
Hebby's just built different in all of these situations. I don't know, like, Hebby's one of my favorite plays in Southeast Asia for this reason alone. Like, it's kind of, not mesmerizing, but like awe-inspiring. Like, I don't know exactly how everything is working, but Hebby will get away with it, and even versus the best in Southeast Asia in him.
Yeah, everything that, I feel like you said it best. Everything that Hebby is going for is connecting. So we got downlight into down air, that's just some good damage. Himway though, able to go ahead and quickly slap back with the side light into the recovery. Nice way to go ahead and close that stock off the top. Hebby finally picking up that sword. Neutral light doesn't come out, Himway finds one of his own.
For these juggles here, the recovery gets punished by a recovery of Hebbies, and now the juggles come in on Small Worlds, and we don't see a lot of soft platforms here in Southeast Asia, and definitely playing into the juggles for that reason. Going for the slide off Sig, and you get punished dearly for it. The GC downlight into the ground pound, taps it in, and Hebby finally gets punished for going for a big read off stage with a slide off Sig, and Himway closes out the set.
You know, I don't
Or not the
hate
set, the
that
game.
Sig. I think that was still
Really?
a pretty good idea, because had that been like pivoted and gone the opposite direction, I think it might have connected to him. It was like, there was a pretty good possibility where that connected. I'd like to see a replay on that last stock for like a sec, right? Like, that was close, but granted, Hebby just pressed a little bit too late. Himway was able to successfully cross up in time and get behind and get into the blind spot. There was a universe where that connected. That did not seem incredibly unlikely.
Man, if that connected, that would have just been, I mean, I don't know how you like seize momentum back after that. Yeah, that's a crazy clip. That's a crazy, like, they call that the Mind Destroyer. Shout out to Northern Lion, and it's just like, what do you do there, you know, like, but Himway is able to beat the mix up there and gets the ground pound out, very thankfully bringing some order to this set. But yeah, Himway on the Mordex has been showing some very consistent play from the Mordex. I feel like a lot of players that pick up Mordex might get too into their head about like, okay, I gotta like schmix the opponent and get these crazy strings. But Mordex is a legend that is very, very stable when you need him to be, and Himway showing like, okay, even versus somebody that's so aggressive, I can still like seize control, play very solidly on stage and off stage, and win games for it.
You're absolutely right. Scythe does not need to be the, you know, flashy, clip-heavy style that's always about going super, super deep off stage. Scythe can also just be the ultimate denial weapon. It can keep you stuck off stage. It can patrol the ledge like none other, thanks to the reach of Downer and how massive Cider is as well, and the activity of recovery. You have a lot of tools to be able to control and dominate space, and I think Himway did that exceptionally well that game.
Exactly, and we'll see kind of how what changes are in order for Hebby, who is now hovering the J-Yun, which is an interesting pick. I know Hebby as somebody that plays a lot of Legends, and I think one of the through lines is either you're seeing Hebby playing Sword or you're seeing Hebby playing Hammer, and you know, today definitely opting for the Sword Legends as we get a J-Yun pick, it looks like here, which is a legend
Great
that...
Sword right now. I feel like
Great Sword right
is
now
such
is
a
interesting.
volatile topic of discussion.
Yeah. I personally really like casting Greatsword. I think what's interesting is like when you look at my favorite Greatsword player right now is Moneyhalla. Moneyhalla abuses Greatsword in a way it's like, I want people to hate my weapon. I want to play this very like smothering, grounded option. And then Use plays Greatsword and it's like, I'm going to poke you with Greatsword. And it's just like, that's just crazy to me. Like, I don't know how it could be so different in the weapons, but I mean, I get why people don't like Greatsword. It's just a really big weapon that no matter what dex or how fast the legend is able to just combo you and pick you apart. So we'll see how Hebby plays this Greatsword. I imagine it kind of similarly to their cannon, which will be very aggressive, so I'm excited to see it. Yeah, already starting off pretty fast here on the Demon Island pick.
Okay, already Himway getting his fists in there, able to get a good amount of damage. Looking for the downer as well, looking for the extension. Ooh, okay, yeah, whipping Greatsword D-Light. I mean, that move has some of the most reach in the entire game, but if you whiff it, you whiff it.
Just moving around with this Greatsword and just controlling so much of the space immediately. It's very different than any other weapon at creating space. I feel like this is the most like just holding on so much control of this grounded space. But what Himway's doing really well is using the sidelight to burst in when J-Yun is punishable in there. That big down stick gets punished by Himway, who goes for the breakdance there. No time to dance there, but an end stick comes in and not quite enough to KO for Hebby, but a GC down light will almost.
And light, D-Light bridge, excuse me, and then able to get the downer spike as well. Really good stuff. Hebby closing that one out, despite the fact that I feel like the beginning of that stock didn't go so great. Hebby was not able to find a lot of openers, but guess what? When Greatsword finds those openers, you don't need a lot of them at all. GC sidelight recovery, unsuccessful at the moment. Himway coming in with the weapon toss and lighting in the wrong direction. Ooh, how do you close?
Nice little conversion there with the downlight into the recovery. A classic for Use, who's so good at conditioning you to dash under when Greatsword jumps, and that downer is just able to scoop up for that. Nice little sidelight there, and a weapon toss sends Hebby in a really terrible spot. Can you make it back? No, you cannot. As Hebby just falls off the stage and throws the weapon in the process.
Yeah, gets his last bit of chip damage as well as a little treat, as a little snack at the moment. Okay, and light neutral as well. Good amount of damage. Hebby continuing to patrol the ground at the stage. Just dash jumping, landing in with the recovery. That move is so active, it is so big.
Ooh.
What a follow-up.
The classic. I like to call that the Use the down air into the air as a way to close out those high damage KOs, and Hebby really taking a book out of Use here with the movement. We're seeing like such consistent movement that makes it so hard to really pin down where the initiation starts, where that sidelight's going to come out from, and right now Hibway's definitely getting smothered by it.
Okay, Hebby is dash jumping back and forth all over the place. What can Himway do to challenge that? I feel like a dash up, you know, side stick or something, just like for once, for good measure. Because Hebby's just going for like a lot of really like quick normals after that. And I feel like that is a good opportunity for Himway to be able to get a punish. Unfortunately, that does not connect that time around. Okay.
These down airs, man, have been really, like, they just do so much damage. I feel like that's something that you don't really think about versus Greatsword, is when you can start conditioning your opponent to get hit by down airs or not dodging out of strings, it gets real scary versus the Greatsword, as we see Hebby doing 650 damage on the Greatsword. Absolutely insane.
That was a lot of pressure. That was a high pressure, high stakes CQC combat. Well, I guess Serenity has the word combat in it, but that entire last stock, I mean, it was defined by small interaction, and it just so happened that Hebby was the one that was coming out on top of each and every single one of those interactions, connecting a side light, connecting a D light, getting a couple of hits, whereas Himwee, not so much.
Yeah, we'll see how this counter pick plays into effect for Himwee, who's now playing the Ahsoka Tano. So I think this is the kryptonite to Hebby, at least so far in their set history. As soon as Himwee, puts on the Asuri, I feel like it's ours. Yeah.
Katara's pick into greatsword.
I think most of the time I would be like, this is a bad choice, but it's Himwee, and Himwee just has this like player versus player read on Katars that's like the most insane thing ever. It's incredibly dominant versus so many players, and even in the sword mirror here, showing off some dominance already in the matchup, and we see Hebby immediately want to swap over to the greatsword. We might not see a lot of Katars even. We might see Himwee kind of leaning into the sword. We'll see.
We'll just have to see. At the moment, though, Himwee patrolling the stage, committing to that side light, putting himself off stage, looking for a way to get back down onto Sentu. But alas, man, that D-light bridge, that is so active. It is such a good button. That is such a good move. Wow.
Little side air there to look to tap in and confirm that edgeguard. Didn't find the second side air though, and the greatsword creates some, or disarms Himwee now, who's struggling to get back to finding a weapon here. Let's go cycle back, and we have the Katars online though. Nice avoidance on that end sig into the recovery. Yeah, very clean stuff.
Yeah, that was the second end sig that came out there, and Hebby not going to be so lucky in actually connecting it here. And Light into the recovery as well. Himwee just keeps on dealing what is a good amount of damage at the moment. Down air and Light, recovery. Hebby taking a lot of damage. I think you might be right about the Katars thing. We'll see.
Yeah, you gotta be careful there. And that's a classic plug-and-play sig from Hebby there, going for the side light, immediately hitting the end light. Because essentially it's the same thing as a bridger, and it covers that dodge perfectly as Himwee gets caught in that very classic J-Yin mix-up on the Katars now versus the greatsword. We'll see if he's able to find their way in. And as I say that, taking so much damage from this greatsword, Himwee able to find their way back to the stage, but not after taking almost 100 damage. Hebby unstoppable on the greatsword right now, completely picking apart Himwee, saying, you have strings on Katars, I have strings on greatsword, and I'll do way more damage than you.
I feel like this is a game of cat and mouse at the moment, right? Greatsword, you constantly dashing back with a couple of sidelights, Katars, you're going in, and then Himwee was able to get in close enough to finish out that second stock. So pretty good lead to have at the moment.
Nice little movement here from Himwee, who's giving respect to Hebby off the wall here, knowing that greatsword's going to be able to burst out with those big hitboxes. As I say that recovery punishes and finds a KO. The greatsword on line for Hebby, who's looking to get some extra credit on the unarmed. No, doesn't even try to weapon starve, just really wants to hold this greatsword. I like the option.
Okay, I'd like just to try to catch one of these landings, but Himwee is being a little bit floaty, right? Himwee is opting to not immediately fast fall, to take a sweet old time.
I'd like the very late hitbox of it, barely connecting. Nice little string there from Hebby, who sends Himwee off stage. Catches there with the bridge and sends off stage once again. Not going for any of the finishers though, which I think is a good choice. Just wanting to get that extra damage here. Himwee with the Katars. Put your helmet on. We might see a half pipe. We don't though. The Katar's not really working in the same way it did in the beginning of this game.
But it is useful to still catch those jumps, especially with D-Light, especially with neutral in. Himwee's trying to play as non-committally as possible, but Hebby sticking onto the greatsword, dashing back, playing it nice and safe, and then going for the neutral finisher as well to take it off the top. Hebby gonna be taking game number 3.
Going up 2-1 in the set, the counter pick from Himwee doesn't work out. For the first time in their match history, I think this might be the first time Hebby is able to take a game off the Asuri. So we'll see as we get right back into the next game. There's no changes of Legends. And this is the counter pick that Hebby needed, it seemed like, who is somebody that I don't think has played Jayan yet in a tournament match. I've basically only seen, Scarlet, Sidra, Zol, Cassidy, so it's cool to see them immediately finding some success on the greatsword.
And, Katara greatsword, excuse me, I still don't fully understand Himwee's rationale behind it, because I feel like Himwee is uniquely struggling. Sword or greatsword sidelight, such a good move, but as Katara's, it feels like an even better move. It feels even more difficult to get in against.
No, definitely, and to say like, okay, well, Katars can like burst in. It's definitely not the same as like something like Gauntlet. You, although have burst options, they're definitely not as good versus Greatsword at like picking apart the kind of like how all the hitboxes on the ground is what I'm trying to say. But I definitely like this from Himway, picking up the sword here and looking to contend with the great sword. But right now, Hebby is all gas, no brakes. We don't see Hebby stopping hitting buttons for anything, even when off stage. As I say that there, that sider does swat Himway away. So we'll see if Himway can see some control of the match, because I feel like Hebby just controls the pace.
His fuel emissions right now, pretty bad. Worse than a private chat at the moment. Hebby gonna put a quick stop to that, taking the recovery, using it to get Hebby stock off the top, and now it's a 3-2 stock lead. You have Katars on hand. Can you find this opening, or is Hebby gonna deny you of space? I can't believe that connected.
Connecting again there with that recovery, not enough to KO, but man, looking close to it. Yeah, two connectors there. Didn't want to go for a finisher as Himway was able to find some safety on the wall there. But the tosses come through. We see the sword on Himway still. A down air will KO, a side air will KO any of the J and Sigs. You just need to find the last hit to tap it in.
Oh my gosh, Himway is going in, and Hebby is not able to close this out quite yet. The side of him across the stage, not going to be enough. Had you been any closer to the left, that might have pushed him through the blast zone, but the down air into the neutral air, one of the only consistent ways for Greatsword to find KOs.
Yeah, no matter the damage, that will find a confirm, and it will close out this. Landing with a down air there. That's a classic, hitting the down air, trying to go for the bridge after. Definitely just not a true confirm, and Himway punishes Hebby dearly for it. We could be seeing a game 5 here off the back of this. Ahsoka Tano finally finding some activation, and Himway definitely kind of playing into the sword, kind of similar to their Koji, not really wanting to play, the secondary weapon, just wanting to fully commit to the sword.
Okay, backing off a little bit here, being nice and patient, looking to play the GCD light unsuccessfully. Hebby, those are the kinds of plays you need to make if you want a chance of making this one back. Catching the dodge out, Hebby's no longer dashing back. That's exactly the adaptation I wanted to see after the D-light bridge. You want to go in, you want to punish that dodge out, and then going for the end light finisher, Hebby has a chance. Hebby has a shot of making this upset.
This would be a big win for him, who hasn't been able to find a win on Himway in quite a while now with the great sword in hand. Some damage there and sets Himway up. Himway is really swinging for the fences here, just wanting to get any space and fighting for it dearly. The clank there, not enough to KO with that ground pound, but that recovery surely will. And we got a game 5. Himway's Ahsoka on the back of a very sword dominant game plan is forcing this game 5 versus the great sword.
This is what happens when you try to land and you're sweating and you're going up against maybe one of the best juggling weapons in the entire game. Sword's recovery is so active, Sword neutral is so quick and non-committal, as well. There's so many difficult ways to land against Sword, and so Hebby was just not in a very good position. However, the thing that I did want to point out is the way that Hebby is adapting. Because previously what we saw Sword sidelight, and then we saw the D-light bridge, and then we saw Hebby dashing back and looking to reset and play as safe as possible. That was good if you wanted to go for that pokey play style, but at the end, Hebby began to adapt to some of Himway's dodges out. Right? That ground pound that Hebby committed to, I think, was an excellent decision, and I'm curious to see how that continues to play out, PJ.
Yeah, we will definitely see here as it all comes down to this game 5 to fight their way back into the grand finals through the elimination side. Himway on the guitar. That's a classic, like kind of like Guichibu does that a lot with the weapon toss off the sword, picks up the guitars on the way into the corner and then gets it down there. Very scary spot to be in, and Hebby really getting smothered here, even on the great sword. This it? Oh, didn't find the GC downlight. A very interesting gravity cancel from Hebby.
The GC neutral immediately into the finisher was an excellent idea to get back onto the stage. That was so creative.
And that's kind of just showing the innovation that Hebby's able to bring to the table at a moment's notice. But that downlight recovery, no innovation needed from Himway. Just a classic sword KO confirmed.
Sometimes you just want a steak and potatoes, right? You don't have to modernize it. You don't have to do anything too contemporary to it. It can just be a steak with some potatoes. And so right now, Hebby backing off a little bit. Gonna be looking at this point for a D-light, right? You want D-light recovery, you want D-light siding, but Himway is not gonna let him have any of it.
Yeah, like, good luck trying to downlight a guitar player who's so willing to just hit buttons in the air. I mean, you know, catching landings is one thing, but just even trying to air Himway is going to be very, very difficult. A down sig comes in on an attempt to catch Hebby. If it was a little bit higher up, it would have potentially KO'd Hebby, but Himway still has about 150 damage on Hebby, so looking pretty solid.
Victoria's on hand, backing off a little bit, just so afraid of that end light. Dash jumping, okay. This is, I think I was talking to like SA players about this and they're like, yeah, this is what all NA players are doing right now. And Southeast Asia is following suit as well.
Yeah, I like to call it ballerina routines. Like you're just moving for the sake of moving a lot of times. And I feel like it gets a little bit tricky to get really anything out of all that movement.
Yeah, like a, you know, like a, you know, perhaps some would say like a melee twinning clip sometimes, right?
Absolutely.
Moving because it feels good, and it can be exploitable. It can be tricky as well. You can dash dance, right? And that can effectively cause your opponent to whip buttons in your face. And so we'll see how that continues to play out. At the moment, though, the sidelight finisher not going to come out successfully.
Hey, nice little connector there. The down might find this connection, but ooh, a big string does find its KO on the greatsword. And now we're down to last stock game 5 here. Definitely anyone's game right now. You can't count Hebby out, even though that Himway has been fighting these early stocks, or these stocks earlier than Hebby. It's not over yet.
Dodge in? No.
Oh, big strings, a lot of damage.
That's right. That's what greatsword is supposed to do. You get that one catch, you get that one lead, but right now you're gonna be off stage. Hebby, love that weapon toss, just as a bit of insurance, saying, "Get off of me." Saru comes out, recovery,
boom,
able to catch the fade back, and that is gonna be Himway taking it over Hebby.
Once again, the Ahsoka Tano counter pick works out for Himway, who's able to close it out with that side air, waits for the recovery, gets another side air. Hebby pulling out the greatsword, and it almost worked out. We've seen it before where, you know, a classic Hebby counter pick, but we haven't seen the greatsword, so it's cool to see them, and they get a Hebby gets a 3rd place finish here at the trial of Freya Southeast Asian. Definitely nothing to be sad about. That's a podium placement, that's a bronze, but unfortunately not the result I'm sure Hebby wanted. As Himway moves forward in the grand finals, we get some replays here.
But think about the previous placements from Hebby. This is by all means an amazing run. 17th at the trial of Scold for Southeast Asia to 3rd, almost taking it over Himway for this set is actually pretty huge. And then up until that point, what, 65th at trial of Scotty as well. So, you know, and performing quite well at a couple of community events. This was by all means a fantastic tournament set and a fantastic tournament run for Hebby.
Yeah, congratulations to Hebby, who I think this might be their first podium placement at an official event. Yeah, it is. They have never placed gold, silver, or bronze. So congratulations to them for making their name on Southeast Asia and playing very well in this trial. Freya 3rd place goes to Hebby. So still, game 5, a very, very close set. Himway, though, is going to be moving forward versus Keith. We got some stats here, but I think all in all, I'm interested to see on who Himway's going to play in grand finals, because I think that's the big question mark right now.
It is, and Keith with the Caspian, by the way, looked pretty crazy, especially when it came to a lot of the signatures at the edge of the stage and the edge guarding potential, and we got to see a little bit about how scary that was. So that was a really good set up in winner's side. And now, everybody, that means that we will be transitioning on over to grand finals after this break, so don't go anywhere quite yet. Get some water, get a couple of little snacks, and PG and I will carry you through the final 1 or potentially 2 sets. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in just a few minutes.
and tier skips with the deluxe pass. New Kita Kita colors. The power of friendship brings everyone together. Champions rise up in the magical Starlight Falls. Feel the magic of the Starlight Champions in Brawlhalla's Battle Pass Season 10. Welcome back, everybody, to the top 8 of Southeast Asia. We're here for another trial. I am joined with my lovely, incredible co-caster, PJ, and we have gone through the gauntlet. We have gone through all of the matches, and it is all coming to conclusion now, everybody, because we are about to get into grand finals. So, PJ, could you tell us a little bit about who we have coming on up?
Yeah, we got another great match here. We got Keith versus Himway. This is the run back of the winners finals match. Himway has been playing a lot of characters, different legends, as Himway does in these tournaments. We saw in the first set, I believe Himway played Koji. Now looking to lock in the Petra versus Keith, who's been playing a lot of the Diamond Head, so the Caspian crossover, which should be very exciting to see. We'll see how this one plays out. Keith playing very, very well versus the Koji, but no more Koji, no more bow, no more sword. We'll see how the Petra plays out.
I was gonna say to perhaps put that Koji at least to the side for now, because I don't feel like the bow was able to do all that much. I wasn't crazy about seeing the bow on behalf of Himway, so we're gonna be seeing the Asuri pick instead. Perhaps maybe we'll be seeing the Petra as well. Wouldn't be able to tell you that quite yet. I don't see who's... No, it seems like Himway is gonna be going to Petra, which I'm always excited about. That was a little bit of bias that I've talked about before. I love any chance that I get to be able to see some orb gameplay, and I love Petra's signature kit.
Yeah, it should be a good matchup here. Definitely playing a different legend than I've seen Himway play in quite a bit. But as I said before, Himway is someone who played Fate, so has the orb fundamentals, and then we saw Himway playing Mordex in the previous set. So not only are you getting a little bit of the Fate, but you're also getting a little bit of the Mordex as we get the Petra here with the gauntlets and the orb. We got game number 1 here on Apocalypse, my favorite stage. I'm sure they did it for me because everyone knows this is my favorite stage. But
that's right.
I'm excited to see how this one plays out.
Everybody is thinking about you all the time, PJ. They did it for
It's
you.
all about me here.
It's all about us. That's what the casters are here to do. That's why they call us talent. Everybody, game number 1 of grand finals. Keith already going to be looking for that end sig. Unsuccessfully, though. Himway backing off to the ground at the moment, looking for this next opening.
The Gauntlet Mirror, I feel like we're in North America right now. Apocalypse, Gauntlet Mirror, I mean, this is just a classic in many regions of Brawlhalla, but Himway and Keith putting their own spin on it, and Himway already coming out on top with that big recovery, gets the orb recovery as well to continue the juggle state and the
side
air, and that's the first stock of this grand final, set number 1. I think we got to reset. This is looking pretty good for Himway so far.
You said that this put us in North America, right? Having the 2 gauntlets out and being out like Apocalypse. Where in North America specifically do you feel like, you know, as a region, where do you think, which part of the country in the United States does this put us in?
What region in the United States does this put us in?
Having double
what
gauntlets.
am I supposed to say? A double gauntlet? I don't know. What region?
Fine.
Definitely not the West Coast.
Definitely not the West Coast. I see.
Definitely not the West Coast. I feel like the West Coast players play some pretty wacky legends, but nonetheless, feels like NA to me.
Feels like an iron jungle, that's right. Himway at the moment gonna be looking for that side like recovery, doesn't find it successfully. Stock count is a little bit even. I apologize for missing the last few stocks. Side light neutral, really good damage. And now how does Keith find this KO? You want to jump call out with a recovery. You want to be able to find maybe like a D-Sig off stage. Looking for the D-Light, not gonna be able to catch the dodge though.
Nice little side air there, jump side air to avoid the side sig. You're talking about that side sig being very satisfying to hit. You don't see it hit a lot on Petra, but when it does, it's always cool to see that side light side air. We'll close out that stock.
Keith picking up the gauntlets here, and we're gonna be looking for a nice way to land. Side airing just to repositioning, potentially to catch a dash in. Either way, it was a little bit unsuccessful. Yeah, nice jump call out with the side air once again.
Good movement from both players so far. Nice little nair there from Himway to continue racking on the damage in this lead. Gotta close out the stock here if you are Keith, though, looking to take this first game. Side light, down light recovery there. Definitely not a true string, but no dodge potentially on Himway's side. Guitars in hand versus the orb. Himway has closed out both of the previous stocks with the orb, so I feel like this might be a little bit too early for orb to find success.
Yeah, orb is all about denial. It is all about keeping you away, out of sight and out of mind. And so right now, especially with the way that Keith is playing, I feel like I would have seen a dash-in D-Light in Himway's future. But now we're picking up the gauntlets in hand. Keith continuing just to swat him away over and over. The end light doesn't connect. Nobody's able to find a massive follow-up.
Good movement right now. The way that Diamond Hands holds the guitars is kind of funny to me, but nonetheless the side air comes in and closes out the stock potential. No, not quite enough, but the side stick definitely will, and Keith seizes the game from a 2 stock to 1 deficit. Very clean stuff on the guitars, playing very very patient. We didn't see some crazy like some crazy strings or anything, just a lot of, you know, hits that then led into that side stick. Very clean stuff from
Yep, that's Caspian, right? Sometimes Caspian does not struggle to get those KOs, especially at the end of the game when you're off stage and you're trying to come back on. You eat that kind of a side sig, and you know, it can be a little bit tough. It's quick, it sends you at a really difficult angle to come back from. So yeah, really good stuff. We're gonna be seeing Himway stick to the Petra. How do you feel about Himway sticking to the Petra?
I don't know. You know, Himway is like an anomaly of a player. Like, to me, I feel like no matter what I think that Himway should do, Himway always does the opposite and also proves me wrong every time. On commentary, I'll be like, yeah, I think Himway should like play this legend or do this thing, and then Himway's like, nah, PJ, not at all, and still wins really hard. So I think it's really just who Himway is feeling, and if Himway is feeling the Petra right now, who am I to tell him? He's best in Southeast Asia for a reason.
He's best in Southeast Asia, but right now Keith is looking to be able to make this upset today. Himway is sticking on to the Petra, backing off a little bit, trying to give him a little bit of space. It seems like Himway is struggling to connect some of these hits in neutral. Finding a side light, finding a down air, finding an end light. Granted, everybody is struggling too, and so this has been a kind of a game of with punishing each other.
Okay, some pretty good movement here from Himway to avoid some of these kind of more aggressive burst options from the guitars. But as I say that, a side stick comes into the corner. I mean, if you're going to play Diamond Hands or Diamond Head, you're going to play it because of this signature. You're going to play it because of that side stick and then the ground pound to close out that stock. And right now, Keith looking very, very good right now.
Himway opting for the orb. At the moment, the down air somehow doesn't connect. The recovery does, though. Can you get that juggle? You can't actually steal the orb recovery all that far. Not going to be able to successfully call out that jump. Side light side air goes all the way off stage, using up a lot of resources. Recovery is somehow not enough to be able to take it off the top.
Just looking for this one hit. You know, or players want one thing, and it's that side light. And you're definitely seeing Himway mixing in a lot of jumps and down airs as an attempt to kind of force Keith to stay on the ground, and then scooping the grounded approach with a side light. That's not working out so far, though. The Guitars is able to pick apart this game plan and barely avoids the ground pound there. Is able to eat the side air without getting KO'd in the wall, and already the Guitar is getting some big damage. Reversals there, gets hit with the recovery, then hits a recovery of their own. Clean stuff.
That was tough. I've never seen Orb struggle to KO like that much before, especially from Petra. Keith lived a very long time. He ate that recovery, kept making it back onto the stage, and now as a result, Keith has a pretty big lead for himself.
Oof, the side light was a big whiff, and Himway was able to capitalize, but goes a little bit too crazy off stage, gets punished by that ground pound, and now Keith once again with a lead here with a 2-stock-to-1 lead. Last game, Keith actually came back from a deficit though, so we'll see if Himway is able to do the same.
I love these retreating downers from Himway. You give up a little bit of stage, but there's honestly no way to punish that because by the time somebody gets close enough to you, you can always end up dodging away.
Very scary there. The side stick comes in and almost catches Himway. That could have been a very scary offstage spot, but the downlight conditions the dodge and gets the side air off of it. Can you find the edge guard? Didn't find the down air there. Immediately gets punished by the guitars back on the stage, but looking real scary here to recover. And once again, a ground pound whiffs from Himway, and this gives one more chance for Keith to make it back and continue this extra credit. Nice weapon toss to break the mold, and back on the gauntlets here, gets the big side air and looks to potentially find another ground pound to close out the third stock here in this game.
Well, that line of sight was just above the stage. That side eye was perfect to connect. Okay, the GC side light does not come out. Love that GC pivot and light on Keith's behalf. That was excellent. And that's going to be a 2-stock for that game too, PJ.
One more game is all that separates Keith from taking the trial. Freya Southeast Asia and the Caspian is looking too clean. What I like to see is Keith is really good at, with the gauntlets in hand and then having the guitars as the next weapon to pick up, like hitting Himway off stage and then throwing the gauntlets, picking up the guitars and then immediately throwing out a side sig. It just creates so much coverage where like, oh, now it's my moment to, you know, create some space or like get back to the wall. But when you're just so willing to just grab the guitars and immediately go for the sig, it covers so much space. And now we have Himway swapping off to the Ahsoka. We'll see if this one works out with the guitar mirror now instead of the gauntlet mirror. But man,
which is a good choice. Gauntlets last game, they dealt a cumulative 86 damage. That's not a lot. Orb dealt 290. And so we'll see how this ends up going. We're getting the double weapon switch off here. Katari seems to be very much so in fashion at the moment. Sword will always bring you that good consistent damage, but is it too late? You're down 2 games, you're in elimination side, you need to win a lot of games. You have to win like what, 5 more games.
Yeah, you have to reverse 3-0 here, so you have to win 3 in a row, and then win 3 more in the next set without giving up 3 of your own. So you have to essentially play perfectly if you're Himway. It's crazy.
I did the math wrong.
What happened?
Oh gosh. Oh no, I was just saying, never mind. At the moment though, Himway. Oh no, that D-light, that GC D-light's still connected. That was crazy.
That's what Keith has been like, really just the final nail in the coffin in a lot of these sets is when Keith is able to get a very late connection of that downlight and is always going to confirm into that ground pound, and moments like that really just seize control of the momentum, and this should be Keith's tournament now off of that, I think. A nice little side air there, and it's looking tough for Himway to get back in this game, I think.
Yeah, Himway is struggling to get any opening at the moment. Keith's just finding this jump call out, backing off a little bit once again, looking for the side in. You get the down in. We got a little bit of a guitar blender situation going on here, but then stalled and stopped, and Keith was able to successfully interrupt in time.
And I like that there from Keith, who waits out the last swing with the yen light and punishes accordingly with a down air into recovery for some extra damage. And I mean, this is looking more and more insurmountable for Himway here as Keith continues to run away with this lead. Nice end light there to catch, attempt to dash back to the center, giving space to Himway, knowing that you're 1 hit away from getting KO'd yourself, but you want to get this KO and force this 3-stock-to-1 situation here.
Oh my gosh, the constant denial. Keith has been keeping Himway off stage. Keith has been keeping Himway stuck without a weapon. The down is so active. God bless multi-hits.
It exactly does what it needs to do. Just be an active hitbox that will cover that dodge and go down to Himway's potential last stock of the tournament. Not only do you need to reverse 3-0, but you also need to reverse 3 stock here in this game number 3. We'll see if he can do it. If anyone could do it in Southeast Asia, it's going to be Himway.
Dashing,
in hand, looking
jumping.
to get something to go in.
Looking for that opening, gets a side in, follows through with the neutral, able to get the end light, sending Himway behind him, left sweating, looking for a way to be able to land here. Okay, getting a bit of a combo going, but the end light never connected. Oh, PJ, that dash in, dash out side light was crazy.
a way to bait out the timing, you know, on the immediate dodge that we see there and get some extra damage. It's looking better for Himway, but it might be too little too late as these downlights start to pick apart some of the landing options from Keith. Keith looking to just continue this gauntlet game plan, looking for your onesies, twosies, nothing really crazy here.
Hemway is waking up. Hemway is awake. Hemway is here. Okay, looking for that jump call out. Just in neutral.
Bouncing.
In neutral, PJ.
Absolutely absurd from Himway to find that connection. And now Keith able to pick up a weapon, dashes through after getting hit with the weapon toss. Very aggressive option. The downer comes in, no recovery afterwards, but an air scoops, and this damage will slowly be enough to find your KOs as Keith here, but Himway still fighting back with the guitars. Doesn't want it to be over yet.
Oh no. Oh my, this is so much damage. The dodge got caught. All of a sudden the game is completely even. Himway gonna be looking for that JCD light. It didn't actually end up connecting. Backing off, whiffs the downer. That could have been the whip punish.
Oh.
Keith, how do you make it back on?
You are slowly faltering here on the defensive game. Cannot find their way back to the center comfortably. As I say that, the guitars in hand though, but the downlight into recovery will get the reverse three stock, and the announcer is right. That is unbelievable from Himway, who takes the stock and gets the reverse 3 stock, and now we could see this reverse 3-0 potential here.
Yeah, that was crazy. I felt like there was a lot of adaptations all at once that kind of came together for Himway. But it felt like he started to have a lot of presence. He had a lot of presence. And he made Keith scared. Himway got close to him and he was able to bait out a lot of defensive options. And he did a really good job of punishing dodges that last stock.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to continue this momentum into this game number 4 as we got Demon Island now. A little bit more stage to work with in small World's End, and also you're able to go underneath the stage, which can help, you know, it gives you one more option off stage in those edge guard situations, which we haven't seen all too much, but something that can definitely come into effect here, especially in the Qatar mirror.
Qatar ditto neutral. Crazy. They just run up to each other and then they walk behind, they look in front, they look behind, and then one of them jumps and goes for the down. But Keith's advantage here right now looking amazing. I love that recovery backwards because even if it whips, it repositions you to get back onto the stage.
The ground pound there doesn't quite send off stage, but a great option to cover people getting a little too aggressive.
And light comes on out. Himway coming in there with the neutral. Gonna be looking for that side sig unsuccessfully. I cannot believe that Keith has not been able to punish that. I can't believe it has that little end lag.
And Himway looking really, really good right now.
Oh yeah. Okay, backing down to the ground a little bit. Looking for the end light, looking for the GCD light. It doesn't actually connect. The recovery does it, and it takes it off the top. Gets that side in, gets that down in as well. Keith gonna be looking for that D light. Okay. How do we land? Keith comes back on with the cider. Himway, I have to say, as the match has gone on, Himway's advantage take with the guitars has gotten crazier and crazier. End light into the recovery. Gonna be knocking away Himway, and they keep on exchanging hit after hit. D-light cider. Okay, dash jumping. Gonna be looking for the gauntlets here. Is able to successfully pick them up. At this point, your gauntlets, you want a side light, you want a recovery, you want to be able to catch somebody's dash out. The way that Himway keeps on jumping on in, honestly, I feel like I'm seeing a dash jump recovery just as is. Cider this time around. Could be putting him off stage. Picking up the guitars. Now you want to also find a recovery. You want to find a cider. But that's going to be it. Himway coming up with another stock lead. Able able to go ahead and make the stock count even. What's it going to be? Is it going to be Kataris? Is it going to be Gauntlets? Kataris can even up this damage. You want to find a downer. You want to find a sidelight. But right now, Himwe is playing away and then getting inching closer and closer. Sidelight and light. No catch on the dodge quite yet. Keith backs down and resets. If you're Himwe, oh my gosh, that side of lifting is huge. The damage count is completely even at this point. Okay, sidelight just gonna be shoving him off stage here for a second. And we're gonna be looking for that D-light, gonna be looking for that N-light. Keith with an N-light and a recovery of his own. This is so evenly going back and forth.
Victory.
Oh my gosh!
Player 1 wins.
That's right. That is the magic of Caspian. That is what Caspian is here to do. And that is Caspian's signature kit, right? It's fast, it's lethal, it's supposed to surprise you, and you're supposed to go, oh, wait, this was an option at the edge of the stage that I was supposed to consider for a second. Also, everybody, apologies. We're just having a couple of technical difficulties at the moment as we're sorting through them. But yeah, that means that Keith is officially going to be your Trial of Freya champion. Keith took it over Himwe, which is a pretty big win if you take a look back and you consider all of the recent sets against each other. Himwe up against Keith. I mean, it has been Himwe taking the last 5-6 matches, I believe. So, you know, Keith being able to take one of his own and being able to take a trial for himself is huge, especially if you consider that he has only 1 gold medal so far. And Himwe has 8. Himwe is very comfortable. Himwe has been known to take these first placements over and over again, so it's nice to see Keith in the spotlight as well for something like this.
Yeah, congratulations are in order for Keith for sure, who's able to take their second tournament, as you were saying, over Himwe, who's been a dominant player in the Southeast Asia region. Shout outs to Himwe, though, of course, making the run to second place. You know, definitely not too bad when I think your worst placement this season might be second as Himwe. Okay, you've gone like a couple thirds, but all in all, you know, getting second still as one of your worst placements, not too bad if you're Himwe.
That's right. I think Keith played excellent this set. I love, you know, especially, again, we talk about mental stack, we talk about unpredictable options, and we talk about making the most out of your character signature kit. And Keith really clutched it out at the end there. Himwe was picking up a lot of momentum, he was picking up a lot of steam, and he was becoming a bit of a beast. I wasn't so confident about the switch to Ahsoka in the beginning, but we saw how it got better and better as time went on. Didn't love the Koji. Didn't love the gauntlets personally either, but I think having the katagas, you know, really helped out Himwe for a bit.
Yeah, and it's cool to see somebody still sticking on the Asuri. I feel like in the beginning of the year, we saw a meta consisting of Asuri and Taros, and I feel like Taros kind of took over, but, you know, Himwe's still showing like, hey, I have Katars, and because Katars can still work. It doesn't, you know, I don't have to be Guichibu to make Katars work in this current meta, but still. Second place, nothing too bad, but yeah, congratulations once again to Keith, who is able to take it with Katars on their own with that. So shout outs for their win.
Yeah, so that is going to do it for us today, everybody. That is the end of Southeast Asia. Once again, congratulations to Keith for being able to take it all. But that is not the end of Brawlhalla action this weekend, because tomorrow is going to be all about EU, it's going to be all about SA, and Sunday is going to be all about NA. So you already know what to do. You know what to do to tune in on twitch.tv/Brawlhalla, as well as on Pro Brawlhalla, to maximize your channel points. And before we sign off, PJ, do you have any final thoughts for us?
Shout outs to the players. Of course, Southeast Asia always puts on a great show. Thanks to production, and thank you Dara for carrying the last part of that as I went through my little technical issues. But nonetheless, that's going to be a Keith Takes Trial for your Southeast Asia. But that's once again not all. We'll see you tomorrow with more Brawlhalla action. See you then. Just right above that jump height, so you're able to avoid the side.
Nice, I like it. Decided as well. well. Himway gonna be so deep off stage. The neutral.
Cannot believe Himway's found a way to bring this one all the way back. No weapon in hand for Keith, who's struggling to find their way back to center. Fights back with an unarmed Endlight to get some space, but immediately falters in the defensive game. KO'd very early for it, and we see another rip into an Endlight. Oh my goodness, you're stuck off stage. The recovery doesn't connect, but a nair from Hebby there, who's unable to make it back. Adaptation. Potentially just don't get cheese in those spots, but we'll see the spear online
Speaking
for
of don't get cheese,
Serenity. Oh my
don't get
goodness.
cheese. New weapons. Fish joints and somebody that keeps on leaning into you will inevitably get punished. The GC sidelight was able to successfully call out the dodge.
Nice.
A little bit too long. That was the optimal play. It's optimal, but that was a little bit too long of a charge. You need to immediately let it win, but I think
Full recovery with the Endlight for! We missed the Endlight in not the most risky, because I feel like you've been caught out a lot for it. As I feel like whipping very, very big on that. And oh my goodness, the slide off Ensign connects there off the backboard, isn't able to capitalize with the
stage. Hebby, love that weapon toss. Just as a bit of insurance, saying get off of me. Saru comes out, good cover me. Saru was perfect to connect. Okay, the GC sidelight does not come out. Love that GC pivot Endlight on Keith's behalf. That was excellent. And that's going to be...
what happened?
Oh no, I was just saying, never mind. At the moment, they're losing Hebby. Oh no. That D-Light,